Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Ask a Scientist Gaming, where we combine mediocre gameplay with expert science, or is the case tonight, expert linguistics. I'm Ken Hansen, Associate Professor in the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry at Florida State University. I'm a photochemist. I use light to drive processes on a chemical level, making and breaking bonds, moving electrons around, moving proton or energy around, hopefully doing something useful like making a better solar cell or doing photocatalysis. But more importantly, joining me today is Dr. Tommie Juzek. Tommie, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself.
Yeah, thanks for having me. My name is, well, here I go with Tommie. At FSU, I go with Tommie Juzek, Assistant Professor of Computational Linguistics, and currently working on the impact of AI on human language. That's my main research line these days. Yeah, and excited to be here. And
that's awesome. What do you teach? What's your go-to class right now?
Oh, so typically teach a combination of one of the intro classes. So we have two intro classes, intro 1, intro 2 to linguistics. And then typically a more technical class, computational linguistics. Actually taught the in-house stats class, research methods, corpus linguistics. So this as a combination, yeah.
Nice. Equally important, what game are we starting with?
So first game for tonight will be Frog Detective.
There it is. It's beautiful.
The Haunted Island. It's a series of 3, and well, we start with 1 and we see how far we get.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
So let's dive right in. I've not seen this game. I'm excited. The artwork is amazing.
Yeah, so that is actually so that in the pre-discussion, I may briefly mention this. I've seen some of your streams, and I was thinking about games, and some of the games I had in mind were already taken. But I wanted a game that has an art component to it, and you hear the jazz music kicking.
Yeah, it's very pretty. It's a
So
stylistic game.
Yeah.
So what is this game? What's the goal? What's the premise?
Well, the premise is that we're about to find out. So we are this frog, the detective. I mean, the name is the detective.
Yeah.
And it is in the genre of detective stories, crime stories, but there is an element of genre subversion to it, and we are about to see that. So let's answer the phone. And here's the frog you see called the detective, and I mean it jumps right into it. You see the really the camera angles. This is typical. Detective genre. They chose this. Huh? They thought into this. How will the camera look at the supervisor?
Yeah.
The supervisor, I'm not so sure which animal it is. Well, you tell me.
That's a good question. The first detective exercise.
So, so you have conversations. I hope for today we want to talk a bit about science as well. I mean, I know this is a text-heavy game, right? At the same time, we'll manage. I'm sure. So the premise is we are the frog, and we're about to get like a task, a challenge, right? Once they finish talking personal life, and the crime is that there is this island we're about to see, and it got haunted, and we have to find out who's haunting this island.
So is it the same storyline every time, or does it change every time you play?
Oh, Frog Detective 1, always the same story.
Always the same story. Okay.
I mean, essentially, I've played this, I don't know how many hours, and it's always the same.
Yeah.
It's you can do this really with a quarter of your brain switched on. You will manage exactly.
Yeah. Pretty. It sounds cool, and it doesn't take a lot of focus.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
And the humor, I took it for the humor. I mean, the humor is brilliant. Here comes the case. I mean, look at the dialogues. This is what I meant with genre subversion. It's a spooky case, right? So hold on tight. I'm holding on. So I like the humor.
Yeah.
And, and we will talk, I guess, one's role of video games and like the role of video games in the life of your guests. And I think a nice aspect of video games is when they kind of they give us this recuperation, right?
Yeah.
To recharge our batteries, to kind of
Yeah.
get out of reality for an hour,
Yeah.
right? And then this is it, right?
I mean, that's one of the challenges of our job. Our work comes home with us,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't ever stop. It's always, there's emails or something. But when I'm gaming, that's the focus, right? Occupy the mind. No, I like it.
That's what it is. The job, exactly. I mean, it kind of never stops, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, especially as an assistant professor, it's a brutal time.
Yeah, you do. See, interesting. I think so too. It seems to be relatively steep, and what I hear from colleagues, that it gets better after tenure.
Yes.
Too much.
The first 3 years are hard because everything is new. Absolutely everything, right? The proposal writing, the writing independently, the grants pursued to like teaching, managing people, all of it's, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And here is where I call myself lucky. I don't know about whether that's a universal thing, that I have a mentor. Right, I started here and they gave me a mentor, and my mentor has been doing a great job. So I kind of feel like a lot of the year 1, year 2 pitfalls she helped me navigate.
That's awesome.
So I kind of
Yeah, we have in chemistry. We have a formal mentorship program. You have 3 mentors, 1 primary, and then 2 secondary.
Cheers, by the way.
Oh yeah, cheers! Thank you for joining me. Thank you for saying yes.
Thank you for having me, and thanks for the beer.
Scientists.
Oh yeah.
Let's do this.
So we're about to go to this island, and the owner is Martin. And I forgot which animal Martin is.
If we can figure it out.
Well, and those scientists couldn't figure out what's going on. And this is why we come in. Right? So, exactly. What is a ghost scientist? I don't know. Good. The challenge in this game is we'll see the characters. It's really not to leap to conclusions too early, right?
I see.
That is part of the challenge.
Oh, they try to Scooby-Doo you with misdirection and.
No. I think it's too. You will see. We will see. It's rather simple.
That's awesome.
So there's our colleague Lobster Car, but Lobster Car was not available for that challenge. Ghost scientists. I wonder what they do. Is that more hypothesis testing? Is that what ghost scientists do?
With the second best investigator is on the case. Wow. Yeah, if you guys can, let me know if the volume's too low or too high. If you guys have any issues with it, we're listening to some smooth jazz with Frog Detective. Just chilling out. And
so once this is done, we have a nice intro. So the choice of games. So I decided, I was wondering, should I go chronologically, go with the games, so to speak, I grew up with? But then I thought, okay, let me pick games, and this is what some of your other guests has been doing as well. Yeah. Where I think in some respect, video games to me are also art. Yeah. And I think this aspect of genre subversion is art to me. I like the music, like the style, the humor. Some other games for tonight have that too. We see that. I don't know how you handle this. Do the guests give away all the games? It's up to you. No spoilers. I mean, whoever's on an hour from now won't be here now. So you can share whatever you want. Well, then let me do a bit of a teaser. So the choices of games is actually pretty much, most of them I liked at some point in my life, and I think they have an art component to them and great music. So you had we talked about this Professor Grasso on the show, music theorist. Yes, that was great. And so Journey was taken. Dave the Diver. Who was that? Was that Jeff Kahn? I think Kahn was the name. That's a great game. And I thought Final Fantasy, but then you had Final Fantasy on the show as well. So I wanted to take something similar in spirit to begin with, like good music and art, right? I'm not saying Frog Detective is like Final Fantasy. But that's that's a problem with the gaming industry lately. There's a lot of games and
companies that are trying to push graphics better and better. And it's not the graphics that sells games, it's the gameplay. Like some of the simplest games are the most popular.
Yeah.
All right, now you're in control. Nice.
Yeah, we're back. So that was the phone call, and I forgot what it... yeah, we should grab the magnifying... You cannot solve a case without magnifying glasses.
Oh, obviously. Optical resolution matters.
And now what we can do is really exactly right-click, and now we can actually make sense of things. Huh? I mean, if we're looking here...
Sound is great. Alibu, thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, we're just diving in with Frog Detective and some smooth jazz.
Smooth jazz.
All right, so we're 10 minutes in. I'm going to open with the questions, especially on the loading screen. That's perfect. First question we do with every single guest. We all have winding paths get us where we are. I'm guessing 6-year-old Tom did not think he was going to be a computational linguist at Florida State University playing Frog Detective. There's a winding road that got you here. There are many forks in the road, decisions that could have gone one way or the other, and you decided your particular path. What was that path? We'll start with 6-year-old Tommie.
I saw that question before. That's a tough one. 6-year-old Tommie had no idea about any of this. No, it's been a long journey to this point. I think we can brainstorm, explore a little bit how much of one's environment influences these choices.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that is because, I mean, both my parents are Polish, migrated to Germany, and then I grew up in Germany. First years they spoke Polish at home, but then switched to German. Of course, there was a language component then to it, right? Me trying to make sense that suddenly in kindergarten and primary school, there is another standard, so to speak. And it actually, well, certainly at the time, here too, I think, and I saw sometimes you ask guests about myths in the field. A myth we can just explore some more later is bilingualism. And thinking at the time, I think here too, but certainly in places in Europe, was, well, you need to learn one language first and oftentimes only, right? And the other language will, so to speak, intervene with learning this first language properly. And then I think that component is a part of my biography. Maybe it has to do with where I ended up. But, you know, at the end of the day, this is the fate, like the lot of millions of people, and there are not millions of linguists of computational.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's not causal. At least some cases it might be, but not absolutely. It's not predetermined.
So I'm not sure it's sufficient or necessary. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, but it is a part. So maybe that's part of it. And then, you know, since we're talking, we can have a look already. Right, our first clue maybe. Maybe a man in a suit. Could be us. So I don't know. I guess.
So going back to that point though, you said, has it been debunked that learning 2 languages in parallel is bad or good or problematic?
Oh, lots of research. I think even at the time it was pretty clear that it is overall beneficial. And we have this in class. Overall beneficial.
And even little kids can compartmentalize different languages.
And there's lots of individual variation. It can well be the case that for a bilingual kid to reach the level in someone else's first language can take a little bit longer, but they get there eventually.
I don't know. My international students typically write better English than my domestic students. I found a lot of domestic students, they learn the rules by speaking, which doesn't translate to writing necessarily. Whereas if you actually learn the rules, you know, or you appreciate them, get a broom.
So I just started running. I mean, the monkey is still waving, right? I mean, I just started running and grabbing things. I don't know what you do when you get to a new place. You have a nice broom and magnet in the hall.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we do. Before we dive back into the story, Ali Boo has a question. How many languages do you speak fluently yourself?
Yeah, thank you for that question. Fluently, English, German, Dutch. Right.
Dutch.
Of all things,
Polish.
that is the thing. Of all things, let's not rub this into too much.
Yeah.
I should. Yeah, it has been on my list to get my Polish back again.
Back up. Your roots.
Yeah, it was decent-ish at some point.
Yeah.
And I should get that back up.
That's interesting. So Polish, German, they're Germanic.
Yeah,
right?
lots of Germanic.
So how close are they? I'm gonna keep pointing.
Yeah, we should have a look. I mean I'm not as great as some of your other guests in with respect to multitasking.
No worries, I'll just keep pointing.
Okay. Yeah, we should. There's almost a gradient between Dutch and German when we look at the dialects, and you find that in several languages. I think for example, some languages in India as well, but also some Slavic languages and African languages. I think Quechua, all over the world. You can look at different dialects, and you kind of can go step by step from one language to another.
Oh, interesting. So you're watching the evolution through the variation, or how does that work?
Almost not. Let me. I just started talking to another lobster. On the top right, it shows the items that we've collected, and now I've just started talking to Larry. I think we should have talked to the monkey first, though. I mean, still waving.
Yeah. I love that he's just carrying around like a broom and a magnet. Where's he hiding the broom? We don't know.
And so. That, by the way, is one of the ghost scientists. I mean, now we're talking. And the noises, and we should have also talked to the owner of the island, now behind the magnifying glasses here, who actually hired us in the first place. Maybe should have said hi to the guy who's paying us.
Yeah. I mean, I won't say hi to the monkey so he can rest his arms.
Exactly.
Monkey. Oh.
No, so... really even looking at so to speak contemporary languages, we find that if we look at standard Dutch, I'm taking Dutch as an example because this is where I have the feel most comfortable here. Dutch, then Dutch dialects, and then really in the border region to Germany, you have standard German, and then the German dialects. And actually, while Dutch and German speakers might not be mutually understanding each other, the dialect speakers do. So if you're in a low, they're called low German dialect plot, chances are you understand the border region Dutch dialect.
That's the Venn diagram overlap.
Yes, in a way, yeah, exactly. And so all Germanic. I mean, the area where I grew up is to a good degree has influence from this in-between dialect plot.
Interesting.
And
so that's German Dutch.
Yeah.
And then you have Swiss German as well.
That's Swiss, which
no, go ahead.
I have to say in terms of certainly sounds is quite quite the other direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. All right.
So
are you gonna ask me?
Yeah, I haven't been paying attention. What is it? Okay, we hear more about. So it's there are noises on this island. This is the issue.
The haunted island. Yeah.
So there's what is the? Do you say that in English? Poltergeist? Like
poltergeist. Yeah.
It goes that
that's a movie. Poltergeist.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Makes all these noises.
Classic scary movie called Poltergeist, where the house is built on an Indian burial ground.
So, oh god,
classic.
Yeah, and then the other aspects, and so 6-year-old me, you asked. I mean, after all, and we will, I'm sure, talk about the work a bit, computational linguistics. Same thing. We grew up with computers, and do they play a role? Probably. Again, are they either sufficient or necessary? I don't know.
Yeah.
That kind of makes sense.
So you have those two influences, language plus computers. I mean, and especially, so that was early home computers. You had one. How old were you when you first got a computer at home?
So I should say when my brother is actually a few years older. He got his first computer, and I must have been something like 6 or 7 at the time.
Oh,
yeah,
it's a very influential age.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that was, I asked my brother before the show to give me the order, and I actually forgot the order again. I think the first computer was actually an Amiga.
Amiga, okay.
Yeah, and then a PC.
Yeah.
So we see, but I didn't. A game later is a PC game, and some of the PC games and Amiga games overlap. But I chose the PC version. They typically look nicer.
Yeah.
Right. So I think, like, for example, SimCity must have been 1990, 1991, something like this.
That's right.
I played that on the Amiga, I think.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So you had languages, you had a computer at home, you went through high school, decided you were going to go to college. You had to decide a major at some point. Did you know going in?
No, not so much. And the interesting thing is, so looking back, I don't know whether that's one of your questions for later. Let me already spoil it. What would I do different? At the time, high school, we're talking high school. I was actually in high school decent in maths, but then didn't quite dare to study it. And I kind of got it through the back door. I then started, I think I started philosophy, heavy on logic, and then had a 1-year master's of philosophy at St. Andrews, and then actually switched in my main study, switched to linguistics.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And you can get fairly technical in these studies as well, right? So, I always like the combination of the two, actually, in linguistics as well. The combination of the formalisms, the computational, and then applied to, well, in this case, language.
Yeah, so in that case, when did you're a computational linguistics expert, and so programming became an issue, you had to learn that, or you just knew that along the way?
No, formally learning it was during my studies. So actually, and I want to, when I say I can't even point it to in the system, it was a BA and MA combined. So it was called the Magister.
I see.
Kind
so
of
that's like a 5-year.
Yeah. And this is when I started, like really properly programming. However, as a kid, a neighbor showed me some programming, and that was in C or C++. So that was actually me getting in touch with programming. I put this in the bio that actually another neighbor had this book about, did you see this, about Turbo Pascal?
Oh, man, I did. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's actually a funny story. So the neighbor, his name is Pascal, and my brother and him, they had this book, Turbo Pascal, programming, and I mean I only had a bit of a look in there as a kid. It went over my head, but I actually thought that our neighbor Pascal wrote this book.
That's naively amazing.
It's pretty impressive.
Ask for an autograph.
Yeah, should have done
That's
that.
amazing.
Got in touch with that relatively early on, and then especially during my PhD, so I have two supervisors. I had two supervisors in my PhD. Merida Rimple, syntactician, and then Greg Kochansky, now at Google. Right, and so I really, that is, I think, reflected in the studies there too. And Greg had a look at, bringing in the, making sure that the technical is there as well. Yeah.
I feel like it's underappreciated how much philosophy and computer programming overlap. I mean, especially if you go the symbolic logic route, like that's what it is, right? Yeah. It's rules, it's if then statements, and so that converged all together. Now you're a computational linguist, and so you got the master's degree, then you went to a PhD program in linguistics.
And then, in fact, in grammar theory and experimental grammar theory, so did quite a experiments. It overlaps with what it's called psycholinguistics, psychology, and linguistics. And actually, I kind of call myself very lucky here. Because the methodology at the time is pretty much what they now do for the AI models to add extra alignment, which now is called human preference learning. But the methodology is like very, very similar. And so it's kind of, okay, again, I have not been paying attention.
You need to know the story?
Larry is talking about some explosion. And I have to say, last time I played it is, I cannot quite remember. So, oh yeah, he did.
Space wool and gold.
So the game works like this, and it's a little bit formalized in the other parts. The characters, typically the characters have in their personality one or two very prominent features. So you find a very cheerful animal, a very anxious animal, like a silly one. And they typically have a need, and once that need is fulfilled, they give something.
Oh, I see. It's just side quests on the way.
Well, yeah, I mean, basically the main quest is to connect all the this kind of needs and what they want and what they give. And Larry is actually the one where everything comes together. So we go out and we collect all these things and then go to Larry, and Larry will blow things up for us.
I like it. It's a good storyline.
So yeah, we should say hello to the monkey, right?
He's been waving his hand for 50 minutes. That poor monkey.
Mystery monkey.
Okay.
Finally made it. Yeah, I bet. I'm a huge fan. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. I cannot remember that.
So you don't have to do extreme spoilers, but is one of these guys the bad guy, or like is this going to be a Scooby-Doo reveal where you pull off the mask?
So in fact, one of the criticisms of Frog Detective 1, so I don't want to spoil it too much, but I'm about to, is people go like, yeah, but this wasn't a crime story.
Okay. So they fixed that in 2 and 3 then.
They fixed that in 2 and 3.
All right.
Yeah. So, so the frog has a blog as well. Also active on social media.
Yeah.
His favorite social media, what would you guess?
I don't know. What is it?
Reddit.
Reddit detectives. It checks out.
Yeah.
Amateur sleuths.
Totally not funny.
Mystery Monkey 49. That's amazing. Oh, Aliboo has a question. Sorry, I haven't gotten to this in a little bit, Aliboo. German seems similar to English, at least compared to Romance languages. That's interesting. How? Because the structure is different, right? The verb, noun. What's the?
Yeah, great question. I mean, essentially, today's England, United Kingdom, and I'm not the expert. I know a bit about this. Expert on this. So my linguistic colleagues will forgive me what I'm about to say.
None of them are going to watch this.
So England really has this different cultures coming together. The Celts being there, then the Anglo-Saxons, which is, though, I think when we look at English, it's actually closer to Dutch than to Saxon. That component, then there were Norse invasions, so you have words like sky. There was another one coming from the Norse languages. Well, and then the Norman conquests, and now you give me the year in the 11th century, kind of throwing over what it used to be. So English in the 11th century, before the Norman conquests, was like a language you could line up in a line with Danish, Dutch, Swedish, German, whatnot. But then with the Norman conquest, French, English became, well, was set on the path what it is today and became kind of, pretty distinct. So what you find is a lot of the basic high frequency words are the same as in other Germanic languages. So hand, finger, right? I don't know, numbers. So actually when you think numbers, it's funny that when you go from 10 to 20, English kept the German AND system. No, not AND, fronting the last digit, 15, 16, but then switches with 20, because then you say 25, 26. Well, German keeps this logic of 520, 620. So you have these influences, but then the kind of upper class words, approach, request, and so forth, French influence. Right. So English is really this nice mixture.
Man, the numbering thing is intriguing because like I just went through that with my 8-year-old and my 5-year-old, and it's like 15 is dumb. It starts with a fifth. Why doesn't it start with a 5? Right? No, it's 1 5. So that's the old
and then
20
Germanic
switches. That's intriguing. And German's stuck with the rules. There are rules to this.
I mean, most famously, I think Mark Twain made fun of that too. In sub-clauses, German puts the verb last. So what can happen is you have a clause and you're really waiting for the verb at some point to appear. Right? English has verb second, so you get to learn what something is about fairly quick.
Get to the point.
So good. So actually Mystery Monkey introduces the story to us, and so maybe the viewers have been paying some attention while I have a rough idea still from playing it last time. So the resident is Martin. Where to start, I forgot. I mean, we just talked to people. Good. Exactly. We come back. See you around.
All right. It's gonna stop waving. Nice.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished. Game over, ladies and gentlemen.
Well,
GG's.
We can try, but probably.
They programmed for that. That's amazing. They knew somebody was going to try. Million monkeys playing games.
But I gotta get back to work.
I like it.
It's actually one of the achievements that trying to leave early is like a Steam achievement you can unlock.
I see.
Not getting it because I tried. Well, I tried before. Unlocked it before.
Yeah.
So we can look for some clues here. Split up. Right.
Why do they do this with the lens? This is horrible. The koala.
Okay. Well, here's science. Right.
Science line. Do not go in the science. Oh man.
The humor is funny, silly. Quite.
All right. So speaking of European languages, in the 90s, they tried to introduce Esperanto as some kind of universal language across Europe. I mean, that was designed. That was a human, strategically designed language. How do you feel about it? How does it coincide with other languages, and why did it fail so abysmally?
I know I should. Great. So, I wanted to say great question, but I think ChatGPT gave me some damage here. You might have noticed that whenever you ask a question, it almost goes now it goes like, great question. Excellent line of thinking.
Compliment. A brilliant person. I'd like to talk more with you.
Great question.
Oh, wow.
So in fact, so this is what many in the field refer to. I guess Esperanto is more these constructed languages again, I think Esperanto is more called conlangs in the field. And now I'm thinking like Arrival. You might have seen the film Arrival.
Yeah.
It has this language that the aliens speak. And that is a conlang. Or I'm thinking Lord of the Rings, the Elvian language, right? Yeah. Conlang. With Esperanto, because I think there are bilingual native speakers these days. I'm not sure I would. It falls under this definition of a conlang anymore. Excuse me. So I mean, the language is good. I mean, once it takes off and there are speakers, it undergoes the processes of a living language.
But the strategy at the start, if I'm understanding, was to create a language that was easier to learn and made more sense. It got rid of like all the stupid things English have. These random letters that aren't pronounced. I want to see more. So it does make sense if to have a language. So there's something to be said that whatever your mother tongue is, there are languages that are easier and harder to learn from any given mother tongue. Yeah.
I'm not sure Esperanto is for the global population closer to the ideal. I'm literally not saying I do not have enough knowledge to evaluate that Esperanto is closer to this ideal than the current world language, lingua franca English is.
Yeah.
Esperanto is Spanish heavy, so you might
based,
so one might ask, okay, why Esperanto, not Spanish?
Yeah.
And then I think Esperanto brings together though then elements of Spanish, English, Islamic languages, and then Chinese. So it's like I need to know more about it. What I wanted to say, and I forgot the name. I'm blanking on the name. I should know because this is intro one. There's this famous quote: "A language is a dialect with an army." I think Weinberg is the name.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and that's what it is. So how come that Platt is a dialect, but then Standard German is a language, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
And you have dialects that have millions and millions of in terms of speaker community.
Sheer numbers, yeah.
Yeah, but there are dialects who also have millions and millions of speakers, but they don't have the official status because they don't have the political frame behind it. And so, why is it? Oh, Esperanto. So, interesting to. I think what it lacks is some worldly entity kind of under building it, so to speak, right? To make it take off, because the other languages. So, for example, I hope I don't want to be too absolute. I have to double check. Hebrew, I think, went either. Had no active speakers or very little active speakers at some point, but then got revived, right, through policies.
Yeah.
And now thriving big millions of speakers community language.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Right.
Just political and sheer numbers and the amalgamation, it's officially language.
Yeah, and Esperanto doesn't have that, and that makes it difficult. Right?
You need buy-in, otherwise it's... that is intriguing.
So, I always, one of the nicer things in linguistics is I want to say there's little politics, but actually linguistics language can be and oftentimes is political, right?
That makes sense. That's, it's intriguing. Just raw numbers drive or political willpower. Because I heard there's more English speakers in China than there are in America.
Oh, is that? Oh, as a second language.
Just in terms of pure raw numbers.
Oh, yeah, that will be correct, right? In a country of like 1,400 million people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sheer numbers pushing it forward.
I mean, it's probably true for most parts of the world, Africa, or even Europe as well.
Alibu, let's delve into that.
Yeah.
So Delve is the most famous AI, like ChatGPT, Common Word. Are there other ones off the top of your head?
I should have brought the great comment. Thank you. The one of the articles that we had, and I say we, this is with Zina Ward from philosophy here at FSU. We had an article together on why Delve. So exactly, so Delve is one of the, well, at the time, I think now both AI and humans don't like it anymore. But at the time,
interesting.
Yeah,
is that causal? Like it became aware it's no longer cool.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. We can talk a little bit about the mechanisms behind it, why that went. So, in terms of overuse by the models, it went back down again. And I think with Zina, we ran experiments and we found that actually people, well, one interpretation is people got fed up with this Delve thing, especially like a sentence, like a reply starting with it, right? This article delves into the intricate whatever. And people go like, oh, God, another Delve.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So how did that feedback get into the actual large language model then? People in the asking questions like come up with the title without the word delve, or how did that?
So and then now we're delving into model training here.
Yeah.
So this is actually, by the way, why I disclosure. I went back to the stream you had with Nathan Kroc. Because Nathan much more technical, but our work overlaps a little bit, and then I wanted to make sure I don't bore your viewers with too much repetition that they would have had from Nathan's stream already.
When was Nathan on? It has been a long time.
Yeah, I can't. When was Nathan on?
It was at least a year ago.
Okay. Oh yeah, that was a great session. Oh, 65. That was a great session. And
when was that? August 25th, 2023.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So
almost 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me then just in case Nathan said that, let me refresh everyone's. So the models, the large language models, they have different training stages. And more questions. We want to inquire about the wool. There's wool on the floor.
Oh, I see. This is where you're getting the wool.
Yeah, we want the wool. You saw Larry
gotta make
asking.
dynamite.
Yes.
Gun cotton.
And Noodle doesn't like the wool, so we need to make sure we get that. But Noodle wants something, so I forgot what it is.
This is it.
Noodle wants. Yeah, so the models have different training stages. There's what is called the pre-training. So you take the model and train it on lots and lots of data, like petabytes of data, text these days. Then there's and that will give you typically models that are able to given a sequence, are able to generate the next element in the sequence. We can talk about that somewhat. In the next word, they have the cat sits on the, and you ask, okay, what's next?
Predictor,
right?
Yeah.
And so that is the pre-training. Then there's another stage that is called instruction tuning. And here the idea is we give the model data such that it becomes a useful assistant. Right, so basically Q&A. And then there's another stage, and that is what is called preference learning. So initially it was called reinforcement learning from human feedback, but now some models don't do the reinforcement learning is a technical procedure, and some models don't do that technical procedure anymore. So with Zina, I think in the paper we just called it learning from human feedback. And here the idea is you have variance. You have a query to the model, and then the model gives different answers. With the models do that. The answers slightly vary. You collect the answers and you ask humans which answer do they prefer.
I see.
And that is the preferences, and that is the preference tuning. And we think and the evidence we've collected and the evidence we see from other features other than words points to that this delve thing comes from preference tuning, because it's not in the training data, it's not in the instruction data. So where is this delve coming from? And apparently it's coming from humans sitting, having variant 1, variant 2.
They like delve.
And they pick the delve.
Sounds fancy.
It sounds fancy.
Wow.
So I think Zena called these, I cannot, maybe, either way, we picked up this term buzzwords.
Yeah.
Right? That something like intricate realm, delve, nuanced, necessitate, right? That people tend to pick these.
Sounds smart.
Yeah. And these buzzwords.
So then delve fell stylistically out of favor, and so the choice between the two, delve became less popular, and the feedback loop continues. Is that?
Yeah. So what we had was, delve basically hid social media as well. Right. So I think most people, tech-savvy people know about delve, right? And then what happened is, I think that the preference. So when we with Zena reran the experiment, we actually found that delve is considerably dispreferred, and we were like, okay, that's surprising. And I think it's because people were like, anything with this article delves into, people are like,
They're skeptical.
yeah, skeptical or rolling their eyes or like, oh, another delve. And because at some point it was ridiculous probability to have an answer starting with delve, right?
Yeah.
A sentence.
Man, it's an AI meme. Was it just ChatGPT, or was it across other generative AIs?
Yeah, so we tested, I don't know, I think Gemini was not that, Gemini is more popular now. I don't know what Gemini did at the time. So in general, though, we do see, we don't know, the data is not, the data sets are not open.
Yeah.
So we don't, except for, now there's a model called OMO, where they have a lot of the data out, which is nice. We don't know what they train, the data sets, what they train their the preference learning on.
So here, this whole time, I was just thinking like 1800s open source literature used delve a lot, and it was training on that set. But you're saying that was not it. It was not prevalent in the training sets. It was only human choices. That's amazing. All right, let's get some wool.
Yeah, we should get some. So yeah, Noodle thinks the wool is gross, but the detective actually thinks the wool is all right, and we hear. Noodle compares that to detective's slime skin. I mean, come on.
All right, so anyone just joining us, Ask a Scientist Gaming Mediocre Gameplay Expert Science. Tonight our guest is Tommie Juzek. He's an expert in computational linguistics. He's also playing some Frog Detective. Tommie, do you want to guess what the speedrun world record on this game is? The fastest anyone has ever beaten Frog Detective.
Excellent. Let me guess. Must be below 10 minutes, I think. Let me guess. 9 minutes 59.
9 minutes. Let's take a look. I'm gonna share it with you guys if you want to check it out. Ooh, pretty close. 10 minutes and 15 seconds. And that record was set 3 days ago.
Oh, wow. Excellent. Congratulations to who did this?
This is Mara.
Oh, congratulations.
Mara from Spain.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's clicking through the dialogues. I mean,
yeah, they just speed run the clicks, I guess. They just go really, really fast.
But where's the point in playing a game and not listening to the dialogue?
Oh, you're going to do it later with NARC. it's to beat it as fast as you can. Calm down, Bronco. Welcome back. It has been a while. Jeez, calm down. You got to be, what, fourth year in grad school or something like that? But welcome back. It's been a while. It's nice you're able to join us again. Hopefully you're flexible on a Wednesday night, have a drink in hand, hanging out. But calm down, Bronco wants to open with a depressing one. Maybe a depressing question. How has the current administration affected linguistics funding? I mean, you're in a special place, though, because you're AI.
Yeah.
And AI is one of the popular directives they're proposing for the NSF, right?
Yeah, look, if I so I want to say a great question. I'm out of another. You know what? I brought Bitburger. If you wanted to have a Bitburger,
let's do it.
and then we get to the question. So let me give you a Bitburger as well. So here's I tried to get similar to the games. I was thinking beers. I tried to get Polish. Non-alcoholic Polish beer. Thank you.
Here's
here in Tallahassee or in Florida.
so Bitburger.
Yeah. So
Now, this is actually 0% alcohol.
yeah. So standard Bitburger is like one of the very popular beers
Yeah.
in Germany, and I think they have a good non-alcoholic one. It actually tastes like beer.
Yeah. So I learned that. I was curious about it because I had to look it up because I looked up the Blue Moon on Beer Advocate, and this is one of the top 25 non-alcoholic beers. But they had a percent alcohol for it, and it's 0.5%.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So non-alcoholic doesn't mean no alcohol. It means less than 0.5% is acceptable.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. But this one's an actual 0%.
Yeah. So Blue Moon says
I think it's 0.5.
0.5 or below. I think.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And then Bitburger goes with 0.0. So how do you like it actually? By the way,
It's good. I mean, this is I'm actually tasting the non-alcoholic versus the alcoholic one. You can taste the wheat a lot more on the non-alcoholic.
Okay.
I think the ethanol's not masking it as much. But yeah, I like it. Oh, that's Bitburger.
And so I was 1 year in California, and you would find Polish beer in California. And then I went to Chicago twice, and Chicago has a huge Polish, Polish roots community, and so you do find Polish beer in the US. However, in Florida, it has been a little bit more difficult. So I wanted to start with Polish beer. It was difficult, so I brought the Bitburger. So now we have some German beer.
And you've gone to Total Wine. They have a pretty good international section. Do they have anything?
Where's Total Wine?
Total Wine is up. Oh man, I don't know. It's next to IGG Gymnastics is how I know it from my kids. But there's what else is there? There's a Fresh Market up there. It's the shopping mall just north of here.
Is that because I?
10.
Oh yeah, so I did go to. I got the Bitburger just north of Trader Joe's. So I guess that will be the place. There's a Mexican place called Pepe's nearby.
Yes. Yeah. That's it. That's Total Wine. Yeah.
And they have a good selection. Yeah, absolutely.
It's surprising. Yeah.
Yeah, they have a good selection. So Noodle wants the broom. So we're lucky because you saw me running around picking up the broom, and now we can give the broom to Noodle, and I have
the wool.
Exactly.
No, it's all coming together.
So back to I forgot the names.
Calm Down Bronco about current administration and linguistics funding.
Yeah, look, from my side, being on a podcast that is streamed out and recorded and saved on the internet, I think I'm on thin ice commenting on US
there's
politics.
Some AI tracking your word use right now.
So I mean, I feel I'm a guest to this country.
Yeah.
The US are treating me well, and let me. So you hear I'm building my answer carefully. So I think part of it is in a US political dialogue, which I think the US, I trust the US like succeeding in this process. Let me say this. I think when it comes to colleagues who do great work, I think the colleagues would appreciate more time to be given to react to changes. Right? I mean, science is a long-term endeavor, and to be on a project and then get told, well, you know what, it gets cut off yesterday. I think that's
well, especially you're funding a student mid-semester and all of a sudden they don't have funding. And like, what do you do with that?
Yeah.
You try to find different sources, hope of the upper administration. And I think that's not an unpopular opinion. Nor do I think that'll get you on a list, but who knows?
Well, and the other thing, and I think that's where. So what I don't want to say try to do. What is really important to me is, well, again, most of linguistics is not very political, and when we have the classroom, that many views are welcome in the classroom, right? That is really important to me.
Yeah, that's
And so, that said, with the administration and the question, I think what is also important to me is that when we can talk about computational linguistics and AI, and you said from that respect, okay, or given, but then I have colleagues who do research on questions such as how do kids best learn languages and what factors do help kids succeed in early development, of which I think these are really important questions that we should research.
If you guys didn't see the NSF proposal on the upcoming budget, they completely cut the education contingent, like 100%. They're proposing to get rid of education research funding, which means you can't study learning, which is insane, especially when the administration said, we're going to integrate AI into every classroom, and you're just making it the Wild West because there is no research studying the outcomes of that or how you can effectively use AI in the classroom. So you're getting rid of all the safety nets and all the studying, but just throwing it out there and hoping everything works out. It's going to be fine. Sorry.
So you're going. How is it? Let me bounce that. So great question. Let me bounce that question to you, if I may. So how is it in chemistry?
I mean, nothing's official yet, right? Like the new budget isn't solidified. The proposed budget out of the NSF would cut the chemistry budget by 75%, which is it changes it from a 10% success rate to a 2.5% success rate. And you'll basically see entire programs fold because you can't maintain on that, especially if they drop to 15% overhead. So we'll see. It's gonna be interesting. Yeah, calm down, Bronco. Coming back after a year or so being gone, dropping that bomb on us. But yeah, we're all in panic mode. But again, nothing's official. After the 2016 election, Trump also proposed cutting the NSF by 50%, and the budget actually increased because it has to go through Congress and the Senate. So I don't know. We'll see. We're all stressed out, but we don't know what's going to happen. But if that budget does go through, we will be sacrificing all scientific leadership for the next 50 or so years. So yeah, no pressure. But anyway, we got some wool. We got some wool. On the bright side, we found some wool in the science hole.
So, Bronco was it headed? Maybe a depressing question.
Maybe, we don't know yet. It's definitely stressful. I mean, like, especially I have grad students that just started. Like, what are they going to do in 3 years, you know?
Yeah, we should have a look at this.
We should throw a prediction out there. We haven't done one yet. If you guys are interested, we're going to put up a prediction. I'm going to diatribe about this one, but it's going to be related to that question, actually. So I'm going to put this one up. ChatGPT.
Who wrote this? I mean, there's some whole noises.
Right. Any of you not familiar with the channel, we use our predictions. Our predictions usually are for video game related things, like will Tommie beat this in whatever minutes. But on our stream, we ask you guys the science related questions. So our guest writes the questions in science related topics or topics related to their expertise, and then we ask you those questions. And you guys can do a prediction. You can answer the prediction. You'll use your 300 standard internet units, which is just our arbitrary channel points. But those channel points will let you predict, and you can gamble however confident you are in the answer. And so the question that's up in front of you right now, the ChatGPT model architecture origin, it didn't just start from scratch. It was based on many years of prior research. Was it based on earlier work in machine translation or speech recognition? And so speech recognition is presumably speech to text, and then machine translation is, what is that? What's the 10-second answer for what machine translation is?
Great. So two sides to it. Yeah, speech to text, also called ASR, automatic speech recognition, one side, and the other one, text to speech.
Text to speech. Okay, so it's just going the two different directions.
Yeah.
All right, so which one is the foundation for ChatGPT? Is it speech recognition or machine translation? That's fun. So yeah, if you guys haven't done this before, there's a predict button right at the top of chat. Click that predict button and gamble your standard internet units. They are useless outside of this channel, but on this channel, you can unlock an emote, you can request a factoid, you can make us drink. Any of those things is acceptable. Click that button right now. What are the origins of Chat GPT's model architecture? Is it speech recognition, taking speech and turning it into text, or machine translation, taking text and turning it into language? That's fun. I like that question.
Yeah,
Good one.
yeah.
I'm glad you've seen the stream before because you know what the kind of questions are. You had a bunch of really good ones. And this one, I'm excited.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
I'm curious to see the outcome of this.
Tried to put some. So who's your typical audience? I mean, I wondered in terms of how much do I have to lay this out generally. Things or...
I would say they're educated people, probably bachelor's degrees or at least going towards bachelor degrees, but it's across all expertise. We have physicists, we have economists, we have it's all sorts of people. So yeah, people that are genuinely curious in science, but I'd say yeah, undergrad, junior level expertise in a given topic.
Yeah. So you tell me if I get too technical and should lay things out a little bit more. Huh?
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. We should talk to someone next.
All right, Tommie. So what is the answer? ChatGPT model architecture origin. Is it speech recognition or machine translation?
I should give the machine translation. Machine translation. So interestingly, so this is the transformer model. A lot of the architectural work, certainly the transformer, and that was 2016, I think, 2017. Came in machine translation, where you really go from one language to another. And the paper cited, I don't know how many times, is attention is all you need, because the transformer model introduced this mechanism of what they called attention, being, so to speak, giving an attention to a token, but also establishing long distance dependencies in between in the training between the words, and that is the foundation of even models like ChatGPT now. So interesting. Then what they did though is, so machine translation going from one language to another. So it had it had these two components, encoder, decoder. But of course, when you're in just one language, like English, like ChatGPT, you don't need that. So they chucked half of it out, so to speak. No.
And that's it. That's the foundation.
And that's kind of, you would think from outside, oh, that's surprising that there's really this sub area of computational linguistics brought about this really successful model. Huh?
Yeah. I mean, and that's going back to this diatribe about so the NSF is that there's a proposal out of this administration that basically says our priority research areas are going to be AI, quantum computing, biotechnology. I don't remember what the other two were off the top of my head. Translational research or something like that. They're doing very goal-oriented research at the National Science Foundation. But what people don't appreciate is that, that's a really short-term strategy, because the most important discovery that will happen now in science labs will not be super useful until 20 to 50 years from now, right? That's what basic research does. And this is an example of that, right? Like, this is recent technology of like people being able to interact with it on a website, but this machine translation and speech recognition is what, 70, 80 years old? I mean, it goes back to early computer technology. And it's like nobody back then would have funded it because it wouldn't have been translational to an OpenAI stock portfolio. Like it's crazy. And that's why if you sacrifice funding basic research, that's what you're sacrificing. Not immediate gains. It's long-term gains that are going to be the cost associated with it. So as the two of us, as the citizen who works in the hard sciences, I'm allowed to rant on these things. Humanities are going to be suffering a little more, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and as you said, and I think Nathan mentioned some of the earlier models in the stream. At the time we're talking,
Tiplo plays. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for joining us. If you have questions, throw them in chat. Yeah, that was just someone
following.
us. Yeah,
that was the noise. I wondered that was not in-game music.
They added something for you.
No, a good deal of the early research, I think. Okay, I should not use that word like I'm about to. To outsiders, looked academic in the 50s, 60s, when the perceptron model was developed, because people thought, okay, what is the application here? Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Right? And then even with the algorithms in the 60s, 70s, whatnot, how is that useful?
Yeah.
And then when the processing power came about and the data availability came about, these models
was there.
Yeah. And so it's good to take a kind of a leap of faith and you know, even to fund things that don't give an immediate return. Right? So we should talk to I forgot the name. Mo the mouse. We should talk to Mo the mouse. So when I talk characters and features, so Mo the mouse, shy and maybe a little bit anxious, says hello though, very cute, and again has both a need and will give us something. I forgot what his need was. And I forgot what he will give us as well. It's been a while since I
Yeah.
Okay.
So you just have to figure out what he wants and what he's going to give, and just incrementally.
Nervous though, because he has never talked to a detective.
Speaking of which, we're an hour into this game. Do you want to play, and do you want to play something else?
Okay, we can play something else, but we made no progress.
And by the way, Tiplo plays Dr. Juzek. Let's go. It's presumably one of your students.
Oh, thank
grad
you.
Student or undergrad or whatever it might be.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Well, what's the name?
Tiplo plays.
Okay.
So what's nice about Twitch is you're anonymous. Till unmasked. So yeah, it's up to you if you want to play. You want to keep going?
Let's finish Mo, and then we can switch to another game. And the other game we will make more progress and with more mental capacity, because it's you can just have it run. So
yeah, the machine translate. I like that question. That gets to the heart of the funding concern right now. And one of my favorite examples of that is if you don't correct for relativity, GPS is off by something like 10 meters a day, or something like that, or something huge. And it's one of those, like, in 1905, somebody goes to Einstein and says, why is this useful? What is your impact of this research, right? Like, what do you do? Because the answer is 120 years later, everyone will be using it on their cell phone. Yeah. And you just cannot. That's basic research, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm sure I'm on a list now, so cheers.
Cheers to that. And again, I mean, this is how I view it with work I've seen. Again, we do want to know how we can optimize children's learning outcomes when it comes to learning languages.
Yeah.
Right. Or even adults as well. There's research on adults as well, for learning second languages.
Yeah. Even first languages, because we are mildly illiterate in the United States.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Let me. I figured out Mo's need. So Mo. So there's a dance competition tomorrow.
All right.
And Mo wants to impress Mystery Monkey, and then the guy who kept waving for an hour, and wants to know which dance Mystery Monkey likes. So that's a simple task, because we will go to we leave it here, but we would go to Mystery Monkey and just ask. The frog likes to dance as well.
Wait, are we going to see the dance competition?
I think that will be another hour, but I can spoil it. The frog's favorite music? Hip hop.
That sounds right.
Okay, we can leave it here.
All
right. And then we can switch to the next game.
Yeah, you go ahead and.
So I just
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have us on this screen, so they can't see your desktop or anything.
Oh, great.
All right, Tipla plays. So many people I meet in college don't even know what prepositions are. True. They aren't even teaching proper grammar. I mean, you'd be surprised how many adults can't assign a verb, a noun, a pronoun, an adjective, or preposition. So yeah, no, it's crazy. And Bryce, welcome, first time chat. Thank you for joining us. Ask a Scientist Gaming, mediocre gameplay, expert science. Bryce, presumably one of your students. Yeah, we'll get to this question after you get the game set up. And
I have an intuition. Hi, Bryce.
Right, welcome. If you're not following us, click the follow button. One, because you'll get notifications about future streams, but also it's just good for our numbers to go up. We love watching numbers go up. It's the World of Warcraft of streaming. So
one thing I did not get to talk about since we're just finishing up Frog Detective, what I like about Frog Detective as well, which for those just joining, we just closed, but is it is an indie game, huh? I mean, small, 3 people.
yeah,
A writer, a programmer, and a musician putting this together, and it had quite some impact, like really popular. So I kind of like that, and we will get back to I'm preparing the arc here, because we will open and finish with indie games. Now though, we go to a classic, not quite indie,
do it.
which is Dune II. Strategy game, real-time strategy game. So I hope, there we go. The DOS box is loading. I might have to do the sound thing again. Yeah. I think the sound is not playing.
So I can't tell right now until I transition. You're good. I can.
Yeah, no. So let me switch.
There we go. We got sound. You guys let me know if the volume's too loud or too quiet. We're going to, what is this, Dune II?
Dune II, yeah. So early now, I think this is 92.
Dune, the building of a dynasty.
Different title in America. In the US.
Planet Arrakis.
We're watching the intro here.
Okay.
Both, I think 92 and 93, both on the Amiga and PC.
Land of sand.
And we're having the intro. I mean, who needs the movies when you have this?
That's so realistic.
Malone.
Well, that's great.
Yeah. And we can just let the...
Is this related to the Dune book series?
The spice.
Oh, that's a tough one. Yes. I
I was
mean,
going to say, it looks like they're harvesting.
yes. So
Spice.
it's a tough one because...
I just watched David Lynch's Dune. Looking forward to this. Have you seen the
Oh, fantastic.
1980s Dune
I'm part of it.
with Ping and...
Yeah. I've
Oh,
heard
man.
I've heard of it. It's do people comment on the story?
Well, Calm Down was just saying they saw the David Lynch Dune.
Yeah. And I see the book. I mean, the books. I don't know whether any of the viewers have read the books. I mean, it's quite something.
I've read the first book. But
Oh, you read the first book?
Yeah.
All right. So, I'm sure we will talk about June for a bit. We had this. We were with friends at the Monroe, and 3 of us were talking about the book, and one friend just didn't know the book, and she was like, "What the heck?"
Yeah, my wife has read the whole series. She's doing it, sitting on the shelf out there. So.
Okay. I mean, I wonder about so.
But you've seen the new movies?
Yeah,
You haven't seen the old one?
not the
God.
David. And I wonder what they did with, because I think they cover all the books, and I
Yeah,
wonder
they
what they
condensed
did,
the entire story in the,
because the story is quite
Oh,
something,
man.
right?
Before next stream, you have to watch that movie. I'm genuinely curious how you experienced that. But
Yeah. I mean, I read the books, and I can tell you how I experienced the books. I mean, I was like, at some point, I was like,
Begins.
what the heck am I reading here? I mean, what is this? So quite a switch here from Frog Detective,
yeah,
essentially a war game, right?
so this is real-time strategy.
Real-time strategy. I think one of the appeals, and we've seen this in the intro, and now is Well, first, I think it's fair to say, well, it popularized, if not established, the field of real-time strategy games. 30-something, oh, is that right? 30-something years ago, right? Dang.
Yeah. It's been a while.
Yeah, almost 35 years. Yeah, 30. Oh, man. Good. So we have that. The visuals, okay, and I think the artwork, the music is great, and we've seen this in the intro. We'll see this in the game. I'll point you to this.
Who's your house? House
Yes.
Atreides, House Harkonnen?
So because people were commenting on the books and the movies, so anyone who has read the books will immediately see, okay, what is this house Orders?
Tepla Place. Are they pre-existing words or part of conlang?
Which the
Conlang, it's this.
yeah, the conlang, but which words? Which they
the houses, the name of the house.
oh yeah, I think exactly that. Great question. I did the GPT thing again with the great question.
Man.
That yeah, they have to some degree
What was that? Go ahead, you answer.
conlang in the books, right? But not to the degree that you say you find like fully fledged. You find say in other pieces, and I'm thinking Avatar. I mentioned Lord of the Rings, and what was the other thing?
Game of Thrones, didn't they?
Game of Thrones. We discussed early on, so we discussed Lord of the Rings. What was the other one? Arrival. So, there is
Klingon.
conlang. Conlang in the Dune books. Just not. I mean, just bits and pieces, right? The Fremen language. Yeah, and so what do we have? So we have the game now. What it starts with us choosing a house.
Yeah. What's the strategy here? Am I good? Am I evil? I guess there's no
guess.
morally ambiguous in
Yeah, we can
spoilers.
we can talk about the morals of this game.
Yeah.
I mean, Rock Detective from that perspective is really benign. June, well, we can talk. The game I have later, we can talk about the morals of the game.
Yeah. No, let's do it. Let's dive in.
So, yeah, I remember that from being a kid.
Walker Mountain mood.
Yeah. So,
No need for AI. Which
yeah.
there it is. Oh, that's amazing.
We can go through the houses and what they have to. They are more or less. They're very similar.
Yeah.
Harkonnen is the strongest, and later on they're more difficult to have as an enemy because don't want to spoil the game for anyone who wants to play it. Their final weapon is like a rocket.
So there is
really
strategy
strong.
in this. Yeah, let's dive in. Let's do it.
Okay, let's take the noble Atreides.
Do you always play as them?
No, I would. You take the Harkonnens. I
You
mean,
just don't want to be the bad guy on stream.
I think this is the thing. The Atreides are also the bad guys.
Yeah.
So you're reading the
No,
book.
that's true. It depends on where you are in the story.
I mean, they okay. Don't want to. Can I spoil the book?
Yeah, I think it's been out for how long?
Yeah.
50 years?
I mean, they're committing genocide, right? I mean, there's nothing good about them. I mean, here they come to this planet and they all try to conquer this planet.
Yeah. No,
But-
there's manifest destiny going on here.
And in the books, it's interesting. One of these. So let's have a look at the game.
Yeah.
game
Let's do it. Let's get to gameplay.
So what we have is we have this base, and now I clicked just like Frog Detector. I clicked through the text, but we were asked to harvest spice. So that's our mission. We get a mission. The mission is to harvest spice.
Yeah. Explore the space.
so-
Classic black.
Yeah.
Uncharted territories.
Talking innovation of this game. So we have the base, we have our units, and you just pointed to it. Fog of war. I think it's always so difficult with the first ones.
I've never pieced together Fog of War, but yeah.
It introduced this concept to strategy games of Fog of War. See, it kind of gives us a tutorial in the first mission, but whatever. We just build the wind trap for power. Have our resources. It's just one resource, spice. And we're building the base, building wind trap to then power a refinery to have the harvester go out and harvest spice.
Presumably build military as well.
Yeah.
I like it.
I mean,
Well, you're building world. Bryce has a question, but we're gonna ask them a prediction before we answer this question. Do you think we'll be able to sustain the computing costs of running large language models over time? Bryce wants to know. But what is that cost? We're gonna pop up a question for you guys right now. So we're gonna do a prediction. If you guys aren't familiar with predictions on Twitch, we ask you questions, typically game related, at least on other streams. On our stream, it is related to the question or the expertise of our guest.
Oh, we're being attacked.
All right, I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes. We're going to pop up a question right now. If you guys aren't following us, click the follow button. It'll give you standard internet units that you can gamble on these questions. You can, depending on your degree of confidence, you can bet as little or as much as you want. So the question is, which generates more carbon dioxide, just in terms of standard CO2 energy generation math with hydrocarbons? 1 mile in a combustion car, this is just a standard gasoline car, not an electric car, or 100 chat GPT prompts. Which one of those generates more CO2? It's going to cost energy, and it's going to generate CO2 as a byproduct of that energy, at least under our current fossil fuel related economy. Question is, which one generates more CO2? And so click the predict button. Depending on your degree of confidence, you can increase or decrease your number of standard internet units you want to gamble. Note, you can use these internet units for requesting a factoid, which we have to catch up to. Thank you, Teplo Plays. We'll get back to that one. Or you can unlock emotes. You can also make us drink, whatever it may be. But yeah, answer the question. You guys have about a minute. Which generates more carbon dioxide? 1 mile in a combustion car or 100 chat GPT prompts? Note, you are an Ask a Scientist Gaming honor policy. You cannot look this up on Google or in chat GPT, ironically, searching 100 times within the next minute. Answer this question 100 times. Go. Oh, man. All right, so put your predictions in there now. Which one do you think it is? 1 mile in a combustion car or 100 chat GPT prompts? So you've, sorry, I was giving the spiel. You're engaging with someone else?
Or just being attacked by green orders.
What are those?
I don't know what you. So little infantry manicus.
Okay. They're from which?
I mean, I've just get rid.
Just ran them over.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
There was a debate in the 90s about the potential negative influences of video games on development.
Yeah.
I mean, especially these first-person shooters,
Shooter
but
games,
even these war games. People were discussing, can kids play war games?
Yeah.
Well, you tell me about the negative consequences that had.
I mean, I think the consensus now is that it's been an outlet, and it tends to reduce violence if students play violent games, actually. It's like an outlet for certain students, but I haven't kept on it. But the fear was very, like, Salem witch trial nonsense. It was not real.
Yeah.
But
I don't know whether the viewers can hear the music as well.
Yeah. They should be able to hear it.
I mean, for me, I know it's not like you grew up with it. It's iconic.
Yeah.
Right. I think the music is a masterpiece.
That's awesome.
And what it also has, and I saw, and I think we discussed before the stream, you had Professor Grasso on, also discussing music and video games. And what we've just heard, and I missed pointing out to it, is that it's dynamic music. So now we have the peaceful time music.
It escalates appropriately.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Exactly. And we will see. But then one of the difficulties is we saw this was just one infant twist, and the battle ended pretty quickly, but the music kept going. that's something we will return to in the last game that I have for tonight. Well, you have one more, I hear.
Yeah, no, we'd save the best for last.
In terms of the dynamic music, because they're handling exactly that. So in the last game, they have dynamic music as well, and they handle the switches really nicely. Yeah. So
And then we'll go to NARC, which has a slamming soundtrack. Everyone's going to love it. Kepler Plays wanted to follow up on one of those discussion points. There was actually an Oxford study recently about the mental benefits of playing the game Power Wash Simulator.
Oh.
You've seen Power Wash Simulator?
I have not.
It's literally like a power washer. Like you have the assignment, there's a car, and you have to power wash the wheels, and that's the game.
Well, one of the
It showed that 15 minutes of play benefited players' mental states, which we talked about earlier. This is our outlet. It makes perfect sense.
I can see that.
All right. Tommie, what is the answer? Which generates more carbon dioxide? Is it 1 mile in a combustion car or 100 ChatGPT prompts?
Yeah, I didn't mean it to be a trick question. I meant it to have people think about that. So it's still the car.
It's still the car.
So, and I guess I took this to have people think about, the footprint of AI, and the discourse is very much almost like, well, it can be. Sometimes it makes me think there's a lot of fear in the discourse, right? While about I have it here, for 400 to 1,000 queries is 1 mile in a car, given the current power mix.
Yeah.
Right. So
it's bad, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, and if in the current power mix, meaning community to society, in the power mix that the US has now, of course, if you have some countries have near 100% green energy, then the footprint is lower. It's not nothing, but it's lower.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
repair? Do you have to?
We needed 1,000 gold, and
we got it.
yeah, and I think the mission should.
Your mission is complete.
There we go. It's nice and hands-off, and now we have great success music.
All right, so we're back to to get back to the question. The answer is, which generates more carbon dioxide? The answer is 1 mile in a combustion car over 100 ChatGPT. The equivalent is roughly 400 to 1,000 prompts, so that's quite a bit.
Yeah, thanks, Ken.
Tepla Plays, sorry, we don't allow links in chat, mostly because you have random bots spamming it, so that's our way to mitigate for that. But you can whisper a link to me about the Oxford study on the gaming and Power Washer. I love that somebody hopefully got funding to study Power Washer and its effect on mental health. But that's awesome. Congratulations, Calm Down Bronco. 3.7 to 1 payout on that 1 mile in combustion engine. Still.
I didn't mean to be a trick question.
Oh no, that's good. That's
really made it to think about.
It's a challenging one. It makes us think about it. It's perfect.
I hope they will.
All right. So Tepla Plays has requested a factoid with their standard internet.
Yeah, should we? Because Bryce still had the question about what was that? I mean, we can return to that
after this before the prediction. So do you think we'll be able to sustain the computer cost of running large language models over time?
Yeah, I was thinking because it was linked to the.
You're right. I completely abandoned that.
Great. I'm freewheeling guessing. Yeah, we should. Same thing.
Wait, he blinks too. We can. So eyes and mouth move.
Eyes and mouth, and well, we will have more of a. This was us just harvesting. Later, we will have really command and conquer. And let me comment on whatever I did here. How do I? Well, the keyboard is doing the see, I can pause the game.
It's not letting you type.
It's not letting me type. How do I in the game type? Good enough.
There's your Kong Lang right there.
So for the viewers,
The noises.
I could not type with the keyboard, but then I rolled the mouse wheel
Yes, we didn't
produced
test the keyboard.
characters.
I don't know.
Well,
It's letting you start, right?
well, yeah, exactly. It's just not in game. It doesn't revert the keyboard input to the game.
Yeah.
I did not know.
All right. Anyway, sorry. Sustainability of large.
Yeah, and
models when everyone's
I'm
using it.
freewheeling on this one. I think what can well happen. I mean, in a market economy, we see this that computing power is too expensive to do things, and then it takes a few years to get cheaper, and then we see more power being used, right? Yeah, and I see, now we need a computer scientist here. This Moore's law, right, with the growth.
Yeah.
I suspect this will continue. And we will see continuous.
Yeah, I think Moore's law speculation is 2035 when we plateau the size of transistor and the number of transistors per board.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe 10 years left.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Yeah, but then they've been doing things like, graphics cards and putting computations on graphics cards and
quantum computing and
quantum computing, and so I guess so. Great question, Bryce. I guess my answer is. Well, we have to see, and here's the thing. When people thought we'd hit a wall, we've been surprised in the past that then innovation happened.
Necessity.
At the same time, and so this is where I'm thinking AI now. I think very few, well, some people, but I think also quite a few people did not see GPT coming, right? So really innovation can, to many, be a surprise, even many in the field, experts. So,
but it's also a driver for innovation, right? Like we're shifting back to nuclear energy. I mean, there's fusion push now. Like we need energy. We're going to figure out a way, right? May come at the cost of the planet.
So very unsatisfying answer, but I hope this is good enough.
You can make up for it by moving his mouth.
Well, the thing is, now we're being accused of being a traitor.
Oh.
And I have to admit,
Plot thickens.
so this is actually back in the days. This is the check for illegal copying of games, right? So what they did is they now want us to give. Okay, this is not good because we cannot type. So they now want us to give the answer to a question in the manual, and you typically would only have the manual if you had like a physical copy. And if you what is the
like
if you bootleg
thing.
no, but if you illegally copied it from say a friend, what's the word, like bootleg no when you did that to games,
bootlegs, right?
then you would not have this, and you couldn't answer that question, and then you couldn't play the game. Let's see whether that is good enough.
Try the keyboard.
Very good. So obviously correct, right? Because the game is correct.
Speak their language. That's great. Reese's Pieces had a follow-up on our conversation earlier about basic research and how basic research translates to bigger things, whether it's, Einstein's relativity and applied to satellites, or it's machine translation, how that's the basis for modern language models like ChatGPT. Reese's Pieces said, there's a story I heard which may not have happened. A famous mathematician claimed to have done significant work in an area of math that he promised was completely non-practical. He said it would never be any use in real life. That area was cryptography, which is the foundation of all basically digital storage media. So yeah, even the creators of some of this tech can't predict what's happening. So yeah, kind of crazy. Templo plays now for the new Switch 2. They aren't even making physical copies for the games. Oh really? I didn't know that.
Wow.
The Switch 2 is not selling, but it still has a slot, right? You can still play the Switch 1 games on it. I don't have a Switch 2. I only have the
It
first
just came out, apparently most successful console launch ever.
That's
3.5 million, I think, in the first couple of days.
I'm going to buy
days.
one. When Mario Maker 3 comes out, I'm going to.
Exciting.
It is backwards compatible. Okay, so you can still
nice.
use the Switch 1 games. It still has the little card.
Nice. Yeah. So now we can think of this as levels. we're level 2 and we get better units.
Nice.
So now we have a
So
quad.
upgraded. All right, with that, let's do the factoid. Teplo Plays has bought a factoid with a standard internet unit. So let's drop a knowledge bomb on them. What do you want to share? What's a interesting tidbit?
Should have. Since we talked about this,
Yep.
I think that's a nice. Initially, we talked about languages bilingualism. We might come back to that. So, depending on the source, numbers are always a little variation in there. An estimated 50 to 60% of the world's population speaks 2 or more languages fluently.
That is breathtaking.
Right? That is the world, and I think that's some. What is it now? 8 billion people on the planet. So that is some 4 to almost 5 billion people.
That is crazy.
More.
That is because my American-centric view has that number so much lower than that, right? But coming from Europe, that seems like a natural thing, like 50%.
And I should have looked up.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Should have looked up the number for the US.
Yeah.
Bringing that factoid here. Thanks for the request. I can guess, but I'd rather have you.
Well, what's your guess? What's your guess?
Well, actually, because Spanish, I think there are 40 million Spanish native Spanish speakers in the US.
Or 330 million or something like that.
That and then migration. So my guess would be something like 20 to 30%. That's not a number. 25%.
According to the AI overview, approximately 20% of Americans, roughly 68 million people, can speak a language other than English.
All
right. Well done.
Good.
Way to go. But yeah, globally being much higher, I guess English has a huge sway on that. You want to watch a Marvel movie. That's your option.
Well, oftentimes it comes with necessity, and then of course English being the world's language.
Yeah.
That necessity to learn the world's language is already fulfilled.
Man, I like it. All right, we're catching up. We got a factoid. Teplo, thank you for joining. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the requesting a factoid. Thank you for using your standard internet units. But yeah, if you guys have questions, throw them in chat. We're happy to answer them. I know that English is number 1 and Russian is number 2 for languages used on the internet. But do you think it's the same ranking for the languages people speak globally? Isn't Chinese number 1 just by sheer numbers? I would guess.
Native speakers, will be Chinese. I mean, India has overtaken in population China, right?
Oh.
And I mean, India has, for many, it's bilingualism that they grow up with English in this multi-language mix, right? That they have various languages there. So I wonder about India, but I would think.
I'm looking at a simple graphic here from Keyword Tool.
Okay.
Top 20 most spoken languages worldwide. English is number 1. Mandarin is number 2.
Yeah.
Hindi, then Spanish, then French, then Arabic.
And then the distinction between mother tongue versus second language. Interesting. And I should know these things. We do this.
You don't have to know off the top of your head.
Do that in the intro.
That's intriguing.
Harvester deployed.
I mean, one of the reasons I don't know how much you study like the nature of the language, right? Like versus alphabet versus symbolic languages, like Chinese and Japanese and things like that. I mean, it has to be just more challenging to operate on the internet where you have so many symbols, right? To find the characters and things like that. I don't know if you have any experience or thoughts on that.
I should know more. I think what they do is they go with the sound representation, the phonetic, exactly, phonemic representation, then type in that as they type the sound representation, it gets to the characters. But I'm really not. That's a great question, and maybe some of the viewers have a better answer than I just
I appreciate the qualifiers.
No, I think that's important. I mean, although, so I can easily talk about the research, the papers, the whatnot with full confidence, and then when given, I will use confidence. But it's a very wide field, and even for a linguist, and I did not even talk much about what is linguistics, what is computational linguistics. I can talk about that some more, because it's such a broad field. There is no linguist who is an expert in all the subjects, and so I will not sit here and sell these things with 100% confidence.
Well, what I love about this is my experience while streaming, because I've had guests across all domains of expertise. And the reality is you are probably the foremost expert in broadly defined linguistics across all of it compared to everyone watching, and me included in that.
Okay.
But there's this uncanny valley of scientists and experts in a given area where we have our domain of expertise, and then there's a blurry edge where our expertise falls off. And then when we get outside of that edge, sure, I'll talk about baseball like I'm an expert, right? Like it's where there's a boundary of our knowledge that we know we don't know, where we're really uncomfortable talking. But like, sure, let's talk about, I don't know, whatever other topic. I'll be happy to talk about it. So there's this weird uncanny valley. I hope somebody has named this. I'm sure there's a psychological phenomenon behind it, but it's like knowing enough that you don't know. That's where we don't like talking. And then outside of that, sure, why not? Let's talk about movies or whatever it might be.
And I have to, it's a bit of my pet peeve, so that is for another time, after tenure. Let me come back after tenure.
Sounds good.
And then I friends have listened to that recording many times.
Yeah. So you don't do that on your podcast?
I mean, I think you've discussed actually some of this. Which show? Which show was it? At some point, Max Planck came up, right? Yeah, that's something. Right, like Max Planck's famous quip about how science progresses.
Yeah. One death at a time. Yeah.
And there's something.
Temple of Plays has a fun question. Let me get it out here so I can read it in full-size text.
So, can I be? So the users are, when they request factoids, or they are paying internet money?
Yeah, so not real money. So we have like these channel points.
Okay.
They're somewhat arbitrary, but like Twitch rewards people for watching or following, and they give them these points. And so like they can request that we take a drink. So they can just redeem some of those points and force us to say cheers, have a drink. They can request a factoid. So it's not real money. It's just imaginary internet points. So I redeem take a drink. So cheers. Tommie, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Some gaming, some Dune 2. We're at 9:41, by the way. So if you want to transition to another game, it's up to you.
Wow, time flies. I'm so we didn't see much of Dune actually.
A little bit. It's
a little bit.
Time. But we can keep playing. You don't have to.
Because we have. Wait, we have an hour. No, well, when is the NARC, was it?
Yeah,
when is NARC?
I'm going to put you between 25 and 30 minutes on NARC. So let's say you have until 10:35.
Okay.
So you have about an hour and a little under an hour.
We can slowly switch.
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah, we can do. So the next game I have up is Super Mario Kart, which you had the SNES version.
Oh, nice.
Which I thought we should do because it asked about biography and games we like. And racing games. I played my fair share of racing games, so I thought I need something. And then I was looking into racing games and thought, okay, something we can play for more than 10 minutes.
Do you have Mario Kart on your computer?
Yeah,
do you
I have Mario Kart. I've installed it. I have a controller.
Because we can do it. I can set it up right now on.
Oh, fantastic! You have it on. You have the Nintendo controller. Perfect. That's even better. Okay, I have to come back to talk a little bit. I really have Dune on my mind and a lot to say about Dune. Huh?
That sounds good.
So I have to come back for that. Good. So whenever I hear the music already. So whenever you want to switch, we can switch. How to for the viewers, I mean, you got to see a little bit of Dune. So we did not even get to the mission where it's, so to speak, player versus player.
Ah, I see.
Because so far we've
So
just
you
collecting.
did multiplayer back in the day.
No, but I mean in the sense like player versus AI. So far we've only been collecting spies, which is what the whole war is about. But later you have an enemy's base.
So I hope this controller, the keys are assigned. We didn't set this up ahead of time, but
This
it should be good. So that's original hardware right there. So
Fantastic.
It's a USB converter. So you're playing on the original controller.
So is this the original?
Yeah.
in Europe they had color.
Oh, okay.
They had
I have
4
one.
colors.
I might have one of these.
So interesting. The US. So the same with the it works. The can we go full screen? Can I go full screen?
No, it's got to stay. The resolution keeps this size, unfortunately.
Okay.
But they see this.
For the
So
okay.
it's
Excellent. Yeah.
framed up fine.
And I just take 50. Yeah.
Fullerene C60, welcome back. And Fullerene C60 has requested a factoid. So before you start the race, what knowledge bomb do you want to drop on the audience?
Thanks for the request. Let me find something that is relevant to what we've been discussing.
And Tekla plays, I'll get back to your North Korea, South Korea question in a bit. But before that, let's answer.
Okay, because we this is, I think, one of the most intriguing ones I have. So it's a longer one. A great request. So since we've been discussing bilingualism and languages and world population and whatnot, so we had a fantastic speaker, Professor Marian, last year, giving a talk at FSU, and one of the research into bilingualism and the brain. And one of the fascinating things is about languages and the brain is the following. So when I said linguistics is a word, let me really swerve here, go really broad. You stop me if it's one of the fascinating things is, so linguistics as a science is a really broad field. And I should have introduced this at the beginning, but let me introduce it now. So what is it that we do? We look at language. I mean, the system that humans, but also other animals, communicate information with. And now what we find, and we have all these, we look at different levels of language, and we have different areas of linguistics, including computational linguistics. I mentioned language acquisition. There's also, you see where this is going, neurolinguistics, where linguists, psychologists, they look at the brain and how that relates to language. And so what we find is that for most of the population, right-handed population, language is what is called left letterized, meaning that a lot of the language processing, a lot of the brain activity when doing language is in the left half of the brain. Not all, more is in the left half of the brain. I'm saying all this is because this is for someone's first language. However, when you learn a language as an adult, more goes into the right part of the brain, which is the reasoning part of the brain. And so what we're finding is, and this is the factoid, so great you see all the preparation for the factoid, is that the same person can make slightly or somewhat different decisions in a decision-making task, depending whether they approach the problem in their first or second language, because the first language is more processed in the left heart, emotions, and the second language more in the right heart, for right-handed people. And so that is what is sometimes in the literature called the foreign language effect. And I thought that's a really nice one. So I wanted to bring it to the show.
I know, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm curious the magnitude of that impact. Like if you ask someone, will you marry me in English or Spanish, like, do you get a different, or is it just like,
Excellent.
do you want Coke or Pepsi kind of thing?
Yeah.
Like what's the magnitude? Anyway, let's
You
go
need
to
to know the other person really well, whether that's a heart or a brain
because you can be
decision.
strategic in which target the outcome you want. Teflo plays Broca's area. I remember neurolinguistics.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. You
Broca
learn,
and
and that's
Wernicke.
adult. But if you're a kid, you'd still learn to be much more right side. learning both languages?
Kid, well, this is the thing. Left side, adult, right side, and left letterized. And oh, okay. I knew this would happen. I set up the game on my machine, and I wanted to see how it runs, and I realized I have zero mental capacity on the side. So I don't want the conversation to die, but I mean, this is the game a friend of mine and we played to death.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say you're doing some power sliding.
I mean, I have this in. I can do, but of course now I also want to answer questions about linguistics.
No worries. Templet, follow up. The right part of my brain is operating on max RAM, trying to figure out what the declination to use for a word. Declination?
Declination, probably. Yeah. I guess other languages, English not so much, have more elaborate grammar and decline. Well, you inflect both verbs and nouns, and there we go. So I'm not great at multitasking. You had guests on the show. I was impressed.
It's an incredible. People are amazing at it.
And I'm one has to suffer, and this is where I thought Mario Kart is not a great choice.
No, you got first. We're good.
But it's not about the game. You said it's mediocre gaming with expert science, but it shouldn't be expert gaming with mediocre science and half-baked sentences. Let me have another. But we still have some. Don't mean to run away.
Oh no. Yeah, no worries. We'll catch up on
Can I give that to you? Yeah, so I thought that's a nice factor. And I mean, we have, I have colleagues who know this side of linguistics so much better.
No, that's awesome. Congratulations on your first place, and that was a really fun factoid.
Yeah.
Anyone just joining us, Ask a Science Gaming Mediocre Gameplay Expert Science. Cheers. Thank you for joining. Our guest today is Tommie Juzek. He's an expert in computational linguistics, looking at large language models, how that interacts with human language, bidirectionally, how we affect large language models, but also how large language models affect us. Reese's Pieces has redeemed Take a Drink, so Tommie, cheers.
Okay, I need to pause. I cannot. Cheers.
Oh, no.
I will manage.
Wow, Reese's, that was ruthless. Cold-blooded at the start of the race. Now he's going to come from behind.
Yeah.
Reese's Pieces, cheers. Thank you for joining. It's always a pleasure.
So now I have to focus on the game a little bit again.
You got to do this.
This is Mario Kart.
I'll feed you a question while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Considering how North Korea is so cut off from South Korea and the rest of the world, and there's already some struggling with South Korean Olympic teams understanding each other, how long do you think it'll take for the two to become entirely different dialects like Mandarin and Cantonese?
Oh, wow.
Or are they already
fantastic, question.
I didn't know they had troubles talking to each other already.
I did not know. So I knew that it's going. Okay, look, first place didn't take that long. So
I was just say you're doing great.
I'm coming back to that question in a second. The interesting thing about this Mario Kart is this: you're last, the opponents go slow. You're quick. There's a rubber band effect. Now they're keeping up.
Yeah.
But once you're getting ahead quite a bit, you're kind of getting rid of them and they go in the normal pace again. I made a mistake by hitting Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong is a nice enemy to have as the main opponent because it's just bananas. Anyway.
I didn't know there was a limit to the rubber banding in this. That's kind of fun.
Yeah. And it's also nice when you have a second player will keep the others from going fast. Anyway, so North Korea, South Korea. I mean, I do not know. I thought they were still mutually understandable. That was so, which already indicates I need to look more into this to give a qualified answer. I'm surprised to see that degree of divergence in a globally connected world, right? So actually, when we look at languages historically, now I'm blanking on the English word. It has if anything, being related languages coming together and not growing apart in this very connected world. So you'll find, yeah, I mean, really the prime example being the influence of English that it has on other languages, that because of language contact so many other languages are filled with English words.
It's like the cross-pollination of words
Yeah.
and phrases, and North
North Korean, of course.
Teplo qualified. It's just a few words and phrases that cause confusion.
Absolutely.
Nothing major.
Absolutely. Great. Absolutely. Yeah. And that I can see. And I think for it to really fall out of go separate ways, I think it would take reduction to very little contact over decades.
I mean,
No, more than decades.
They've had that for a while.
Yeah.
Like that's language convergence. Is that the word you were looking for?
Ja, Angleichung. It's good enough. And I'm thinking back to cases. It really, when this happens to languages, it typically comes with external, pretty radical events, right? Again, back to the Norman Conquest. Typically in history, these conquest events, right?
I see. So you don't expect that to diverge significantly.
I suspect that there is, I'm not a Korea expert, we have others in the department who will know this much better, that there is still a decent degree of contact. And so I can definitely see how phrases and words, how that grows apart in the discourse. And this is what you see in other languages as well. I mean, it's not great that I pick I can take German. You have German, Germany's German, Austrian German, Swiss German. The discourses, media, news, people, societies, somewhat separate but somewhat in contact, still have same thing on phrases, words, idioms, still mutually understandable. So I suspect that is going on with Korean, and it would take less contact for that to grow apart further over really more than just decades. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I guess a historic example: East Germany versus West Germany. How partitioned, how different did those end up being?
Growing apart over those 40 years where the wall was up, and growing increasingly apart, and so that's there's no counterfactual. What if? No, it's. We're all glad the wall is down. Another 20, 30, 50 years. Who knows? Then again, the internet. Right? So I don't know what the situation with the internet is in North Korea.
So Teplo has a relevant comment. Their computers already have custom operating systems, Red Star OS, that does not permit access to the internet outside of North Korea. Pretty sure it's Linux based, so I can imagine someone born recently being much more unaccustomed to the idea of the outside world. I mean, you control the information to that degree.
I mean, and that information is a few years old. What is it? A bit 10 years ago, China had the firewall up, and you could still VPN out of it. Slow, but you could VPN out of it. There, I don't know what the situation in North Korea is.
But even if they're isolated, assuming South Korea doesn't change too much, it'll. I mean, how long does it take for a language naturally to evolve into something else, barring any invasion of any kind? Presumably, that's a relatively slow process.
Generations. It's then in language change, it's often intergenerational process. So that any one given person, of course, their language system evolves over their lifetime, and then it's though new generations bringing in more change, right? And then of course that is where you have youth language studied a lot, right? That a lot of the drivers of language change in a language, in any given language, is youth, the youth language.
Yeah.
So yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, you see, it was a bad pick. I love Mario Kart too much.
You're first. You're answering questions. You're doing great. Have you played any of the newer Mario Karts, like Mario 64 or the Switch?
A bit Mario 64, and then the one on the Switch.
Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, they have to say I am no match to my brother-in-law. So it's pretty popular in the family, and that's like a holiday thing when family meets.
Yeah.
And then we play Mario Kart. Yeah, and it's a great game. I really like. I think 8 is it, or the 1.7?
I think 8 is the most recent one. Well, there's a new one out.
Yeah, there's a new world.
Yeah.
I think we played 7 most in the family, and I really like that. Yeah, but I know I got as good in any of the Mario Karts as in this one.
Yeah. Well, post tenure.
Yeah.
Practice. Switch to
More time for life again.
Go assert dominance over your family.
God, no, it's impossible.
Oh, templates. Well, another question. With how fast AI and LLMs are evolving, how are scientists and people who deal with AI able to all keep up with knowing and understanding how it functions?
Oh, wow. Fantastic question.
I have a fun example of this directly related. I'll let you answer, but it's I've done like chemical education research on like test analysis and outcomes and stuff using Roche modeling and seeing statistics. And we actually had a paper where we could detect ChatGPT usage on a multiple choice exam just because the answering pattern is different than a student. Like a student, hard questions are hard, easy questions are easy. But one of the reviewers had this question of, why is it that way? And so we have a draft of a paper in the works right now where we took basically ChatGPT versus student outcomes, and we had 980 questions, and we basically described question parameters like, does it have 2 layers? Does it contain not? Does it have an all of the above option? How many characters are involved? So on and so forth. And we did that, and we compared the student outcomes. And ChatGPT, like if the question contains not, ChatGPT is twice as likely to get it right as a student. Every time the words double, both of them decrease by like 10% and things like that, or if it requires a knowledge dimension. But all of that analysis was done with ChatGPT 3.5. And so now we're trying to submit it soon, but it's all outdated, right? And like I don't know how relevant it is for ChatGPT 4. And so you live in this world. How do you keep up? How do you stay in front of that?
Okay, I have so many thoughts on this. Yeah, it's very fast moving, but can I ask? So, I for reasons that go too far to dive too much into, but I've been reading some of your works, and I thought you work on photovoltaic.
I do. No, that's a side project. That's just for fun.
Okay, that's
I'm a photochemist. All my granddaughters are related to photochemistry.
Okay, I see.
I just have a side project that's kind of fun.
Okay, I wish I could say something. Oh, my side project is on, well, you name it, right?
It started out as relevant to my job, right? Because I was teaching class and I didn't know if students were learning anything. And then I got into this world of psychometrics, and you have to understand whether your test is accurate. And then it just brought me down this rabbit hole of subsequent studies. And so, fun detour. Anyway.
Before I go and ramble on, the exact question. It wasn't quite how do we keep up? Well, the exact question again.
How do you all keep up with knowing and understanding how it functions?
How it functions. Great question. I mean, in general, because you.
Oh no! Costume. Oh no!
So, kind of fun side thing. I mean, I still play video games these days, especially to stay in touch with friends. And so I asked a friend, actually, I would say just the other day, pretty tough question, and he did exactly what I did. The hard questions make you not play well. Yeah, that's a tough question. And let me first answer another question in general with keeping up. I mean, not only that, yeah, great red shell. Keeping up in general. I mean, there is so much output being produced in the field at the moment.
You can't.
It is insane. And so, yeah, people focus on, so to speak, what they think is the most important parts. But of course, that can mean work is put out and it gets no attention.
Yeah.
And so it's really tough in this field to get attention. Now, keeping up with the workings of the of the models and the technology. That's also tough, because when you it's one thing to read a paper and see where the field is, state of the art, so to speak. It's another thing to really, on the deepest level, nibble through the technical and really deeply understand. And this is one of my, and I'm more than happy to, depending on how much time you have and you want to spend on this, it's one of my pet peeves, is because we mentioned talking with confidence about things. The answer to that question is difficult. It's a lot of work, it's difficult, and luckily, so once you've went through the process and understood, say, I don't know, multi-layer perceptrons, then you learn about recurrent neural networks, and it becomes easier, and there are always overlap, and luckily, when it comes to the big architectures, it's not like, so they come every so many years, not every few months.
Yeah.
Luckily. That said, and now I'm going, so I think that I hope that answers the question. But then I'm more than happy to go on one of my little detours, which is
keep going.
The following. Having been able to, so we have this machine learning seminar. Anyone watching from Tallahassee here and interested in these things, we have this machine learning, if I may really.
Yeah, no, plug it.
Yeah, thank you. Machine learning seminar, scientific computing, machine learning seminar, AI seminar. I have that here, and we have the speaker series, and it helped me really to. And one of the founders, so it's actually Nathan Kroc.
Oh, that's awesome.
With Gordon Erlebach, and to really dive deep into the technical of these things, and that made me realize that. It's really gaining the deeper understanding here made me realize, okay, talking about the stuff, if I want to talk about this stuff with confidence, it takes a lot of qualifications, and a lot of these things put out, I would not put out like that. I would qualify somewhere. Now, yeah, good. Let me end it here.
We don't have to name people, but we all have.
No. But it's so somewhere, Mario. Because so you said at 10:35, you want to switch to NARC.
Yep.
I have one more game in the pipeline.
Oh, you do. All right, let's do it. We're going back to your computer.
Mario Kart was fun. I can play. I just think that this is why I'd rather switch. I feel like Mario Kart is taking too much of my mental capacity.
No, you're doing great. All right, so yeah, you'll come up right now.
So, I had free beer, and it's 3 hours. What do guests do?
What do you mean?
Do they leave you for like 2 minutes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, I'll be back in a minute.
Tepla, that's a fun follow-up. ChatGPT-4 came out. People were off-put by how much it was complimenting and buttering up the users enough to be picked up by a lot of people. Yeah, Tommie and I were talking about that earlier, because like it's traditional when you're at a seminar or something, when somebody asks you a question, you're like, good, that's a great question. But now even that's off-putting because ChatGPT bastardized it. So I agree. Cuddle puppy throne race? No, he came back. He won it. Check the betting logs. We should. I like it. Yeah, sorry if I missed any questions. Man, but it's so hard to keep up on stuff. Teplo, the answer is you go to ChatGPT and say, summarize the last 2 weeks of AI and large language model research in 25 sentences. That's how we do it. Oh, I saw that as someone using AI to interview. God, that's so disgusting. Like, I'm more concerned about the FDA approval, using AI for FDA approval, and getting that through. Like, that's crazy. I mean, I don't trust it playing chess. Why would I trust it with deciding things on people's lives? Also, there's zero accountability when that's happening. Like, how do you trust an AI to make a decision and have practical repercussions for that? Man. Yeah, remind me to ask Tommie about the AI bubble, because it feels like we're in one right now. It's going to come crashing down. They got rejected for a job they never even spoke to a person, as into a human being. It was the AI rejecting them. I mean, it'd be one thing if a human watched the video, but they're probably not even doing that. They're just taking the AI's opinion on it. It's insane. Oh, speaking of which, you guys can see that molecule right there, that one? That molecule right there is called Taxol. It's an anti-breast and ovarian cancer drug. It was synthesized by at least the commercially available synthetic process. So it's a molecule that was isolated from the Pacific yew tree. And so they isolated it. They found out it was good for cancer, but then it wasn't practical because you'd have to tear down a whole forest for one pill. And so what they did, Bob Holton did. Sorry, I'm talking about a molecule right behind your head.
Okay.
See this screen right there?
Oh.
That molecule, that was made by Bob Holton on the 7th floor of Dittmer Chemistry Laboratory. He got the patent and it generated like $500 million over 15 years. And so the new chemistry building was actually built based on that molecule. The reason I'm saying any of this is Bob Holton passed away 2 years ago. So cheers to everyone. We'll drink one for Bob Holton. He was in his 80s. It wasn't a tragic early death by any means. But here's to Bob Holton, the anti-breast and ovarian cancer drug. If you know somebody with breast or ovarian cancer, chances are they had that molecule in their body. So thank you. Shout out Bob Holton.
Oh, I saw that that was FSU News. I saw this, yeah.
Yep.
So should we check whether we have in-game music?
Yeah, just if you get it up and going, I will. Oh, you're up? Good.
Should be up, and I wonder whether the music is there.
I see no sound right now.
That should be no.
So
no good.
One of the questions I wanted to bring up with you is: do you think we're in an AI financial bubble right now, like the .com bubble, like the housing bubble? Is it overinvested? Is this going to deliver on the promises?
The music is not working. No. It keeps switching back. I wonder. Okay, one more. Can I have two monitors here? Is that right? Possible? Because my difficulty is I cannot switch the music in game, but if I had another screen, I could.
I do not have a good way to do that.
Okay, then I think faster than. Okay, my next pick, viewers saw this already, would have been faster than that. For the music, I think it's a fit. So if there's one, let me try one last time with another combination. It takes too long to. Oh, you know what we can try? We can try not the full screen. If that's all right, we take the game in not full screen mode.
Yeah.
And we have a little box, but whatever.
Yeah, it might be.
That should work though. So
should it be playing music right now?
Yes, it should be. But let me try this. Let me try restart and not in full screen, and then hopefully I will be able to switch whilst the game is running. Yeah, this looks good. So now I can switch music, and then we should have music. Do we have music?
Nothing. Oh, wait.
Let me... Yeah, good.
Yeah, there we go.
Excellent. So, Faster Than Light.
Let's do it.
Indie game. I think from 2012. Small studio, again 3 people, put this together, where we are the commander, top down, of a spaceship. where we flee from, again, war game, flee from a rebel invasion to one. So I keep, oh great, I can keep going. To the viewers here, where we want to warn the Federation against this enemy threat. I guess parts of why I like it is, well, again, the music. I mentioned for those of you who have been with us from, it was an hour and a half ago, Dune II, the dynamic music. After the night, nicely switches between peace scenes and peaceful music, dynamically switches to combat scenes and combat music, very fluently. Yeah, and so let's get going. I wanted to, and one of these, so the music is great, the gameplay is great, all of that. It's a rogue. So here we are in the shipyard. We pick a ship. I have, since this is my work machine, I don't have my local save game, so I only have one ship to choose. Let's take easy, so I have less to focus and we can talk some more, and I will not die immediately. So this is it. We are the commander top down of a ship. What I like about it, and now what we do is we are in the sector and we want to progress, and we will soon see the rebels progressing, threatening us. We want to move forward to warn the Federation. Now we are in a combat situation. You've seen seamlessly. Music went, oh, I need to, they have rockets. They're repairing the rockets. So I'm the music has transitioned seamlessly. I'm the commander, I can pause the game. I am commanding the crew. The enemies with their rockets have damaged our weapon systems, but luckily we have crew there repairing it. So once that is repaired, I give back power to it's really, you can lose so much time here. Give power to the lasers and hopefully not be hit by another rocket.
So this is a super advanced battleship.
Yeah, it's, and kind of what I like about it, I mean, same with Dune. So now they offer. So I did not catch whether these are actually rebels. Yeah, They're rebels, and now they're offer, and this is a good offer, so I take it.
Oh,
you see, I tanked too many hours on this.
You off to not roll them up. All right.
It is similar with Dune. There is a moral ambiguity here.
Yeah.
Right? Oftentimes you just blow people. I mean, okay, I should not. There are ways to get more money that are not pretty. Right?
And you've done them.
And so for a good part of the game, the question is out there, are we the goodies or are we the baddies?
Yeah.
Right?
I like that.
I like that too. And I mean, this is the thing about reading Dune was, I mean, then I can spoil this a bit. But those who have seen the movies know this. There's Paul Atreides, and he goes on, oh, this is not necessary, and we have to do this, and whatnot. And then I don't think we will see movies. And as you said, the book's out for so long. I don't think we will see the movies getting to that point. Later on, this is taken to the max, and they keep saying this, oh, we need to, this mass murder de facto, we need to do it for the greater good.
Yeah.
And I'm in book 3 or 4, and I'm like, am I deceived? I mean, he keeps saying that, but is that true? Right? And similarly, well, in the game, and in this game, I like this. Here, spoiler, and then enough of me talking about games that you can look up on whatever. At some point, you'll figure out which side you're on.
Yeah.
Right? But it takes a bit of figuring. I like that.
No, that's awesome. Let's do it.
Thanks for the cheers to that. Thanks for the monologue, listening to my monologue. Yeah.
Templo, when I play Factorio, I go from having fun surviving to realize I'm draining the planet of its resources and destroying the ecosystem.
Yes.
That is the heart of gaming. Have you played the game Portal? Have you played Portal? Are you familiar with it?
I'm familiar with it. I've not played it. I played Factorio. And see, so here we have, again, moral question, right?
Oh,
so do we help the civilian ship? Sometimes we have to say, no, we're too damaged. We have other priorities. But here, let's help the Factorio. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
right?
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, we're 10:20. We got about 40 minutes left in the stream. Thank you, anyone that's joining us, anyone that's new to the stream. Ask a Scientist Gaming, mediocre gameplay expert science. I'm Ken Hansen, a photochemist / photophysicist. Joining debate today is Dr. Tommie Juzek. He's an expert in computational linguistics, in particular interested in large language models and how they affect language of people, and vice versa. So if you guys have any questions about large language models or moral ambiguity in video games, we're happy to talk about it. While blowing up some ships. It's hostile, it's fine. It was a rebel.
Whoa. Okay, I want to save that and take that run home.
Oh, so you just blew them up, you took the parts, and there was good stuff in there?
Oh, the civilians said thank you.
Yeah.
And they gave us one of the strongest, well, one of the, I think, top two, tier 2.
That's awesome.
1 or 2 weapons. So this is a good run.
It's a good start.
Good start.
I like it. Hobbs, sorry I missed it 32 minutes ago. The follow, we appreciate it. Thank you for following us. Anyone not following, click the follow button. It helps our numbers go up. That's all.
Yeah.
So we're at 915 followers. I'm going to try to break 1,000. I think.
Oh, yeah, great.
That's the goal.
Yeah, I mean, it's... So, I saw this, a question for you now. Are past videos only on YouTube or also on Twitch?
So Twitch keeps them for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then so this will be available on Twitch for 2 weeks, and then I have to wait 48 hours before I can upload it on YouTube. So this will not be up on YouTube till Friday.
So I guess for Twitch, it's is that a general thing or?
I think there's something about the storage they want to have for videos. Like they limit it because they literally have millions of streamers. A lot of them have one viewer.
Oh, I see.
So there's something about when it's not viewed a certain time, then it gets deleted. But I think 2 weeks is the window I set on the channel for the VOD. But
yeah, just out of curiosity, because I think I tried to find, or so to speak, again, I wanted to avoid too much overlap with Nathan, and then I tried to find the video and I saw it was not on Twitch.
Yeah,
that's the question.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. So YouTube is where we upload those. Yeah, so follow us on YouTube as well. You guys can get videos. You can look back at the previous videos, whatever it may be. All right, while you're doing this, fighting some ships, blowing them up, I'm going to ask you my favorite question on the stream is, you've watched TV shows, you've watched movies that get your discipline right or wrong. This could be a linguistics expert in a movie being conveyed a certain way, or AI or generative AI being conveyed a certain way. Also, I mean, we talked about what are they called? Conlang?
Yeah.
The constructed languages. So what show gets your discipline right? What show gets it wrong? What movie or TV show?
See, speaking of the stream with Nathan, good, because I saw Nathan mentioning her. We just take their monies. So with computational linguistics, I don't think there's that much out there.
In terms of
So her, which I have not watched, I hear though is a good depiction of possible future. That is what I hear, but Nathan has answered that.
Yeah.
So apart from that, oftentimes I would say it's more a caricature. So it's very present right now. Dune has the I don't know how you say this in English, the Butlerian jihad. So it has this jihad against technology. Great to have that, by the way, on video on stream that is now online forever. Me talking about the
Keyword search.
yeah, Butler and Jihad, I think it's called. Where the idea is that technology became too powerful, so it kind of got banned, and a war was done against it and anyone using technology. And the technology, basically, computers becoming human-like. I kind of feel like it doesn't go into too much detail, and that's kind of more like a caricature. And also a lot of it in today's, and because people bring it up in conversations, I think a lot of that being discussed now is through the lenses of now. Because the discourse about it, from the little I read about it 30, 40 years ago, and I think the books came out in the 60s, right? The first book, is that it was viewed, the Butlerian Jihad was viewed negatively because people said like, oh, why would you do that?
Yeah.
With technology. Right? So, yeah, linguistics in general is, and let me, is depicted, so I did not pay attention. This is a cul-de-sac, right? So no point jumping there because then I'm stuck. So here we see the rebels progressing. I don't want to be in the red area. So I guess next jump is a store, put some money, maybe we can do some things with the money. Good. So I forgot what that is. So this has been a while since I prevents your weapon fire from. Yeah, that's all right. You know, oh, there's a page 2. Great. So whatever, what linguistics, I think arrival, so
good.
It's good from, and I should have prepared more. Carolina Gonzalez in the Department of Modern Languages and Linguistics does research on conlang languages, tells me that the language is well depicted. That the entire language system and all the sites that come with a language, and that is a very pretty much in its own language, in its own, it's well depicted, well constructed. Avatar, the language itself, well, the language policies maybe not so much. I hear same colleague said
So
that.
that's interesting. In a depiction in a movie, there's like the phonetic representation where anyone can hear the things they're saying, and it might sound like a language, but you're talking about infrastructure as well. Like, is there a noun verb? Is there a particular rule system?
Yeah, and
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So and in fact, with arrival, it's a non-verbal language. So with these symbols that those who studied it said it's extremely well done, and
That's
that
awesome.
it has its own syntax, its own morphology. And then others, I'm thinking.
I mean, so there's other classic examples of this, like Lord of the Rings, right? The Elven language is created, and that's intrinsically consistent. Like it is an actual language.
But apparently, after the fact, so to speak, post factum, after the books, that was fully developed. That for the books it was good, and then after the books,
I see.
I have
It's like Klingon with Star Trek, right?
Yeah.
They created the language after the show.
And then oftentimes I'm thinking, so again, Dune has then some language in it, the Fremen language, but it's sporadic. And I'm thinking like I read the Witcher books. Same thing. I mean, there is a bit of, but it's not fully fledged, right? It's not, so that is what you find often. That's, I think, the best I have.
Don't worry. I mean, who gets it wrong? Who completely bastardizes?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I did talk a little bit about this caricature thing that, I mean, again, this is a bit of thin ice I'm on here. One thing I want to push, what is important for me, the whole idea that these models are successful because they model the human brain more closely, I think is too much of a simplification. I can see why people make that simplification, but I think that's too much of a simplification. That is for the computational. So let me leave it at the general. I think anyone portraying that simplifies too much. Yeah, and the rest, well, you tell me, does Terminator 2 get AI right or wrong?
Remains to be seen.
Yeah.
My feeling is probably yes to some degree. So this relates to a question or comment by Teplo Plays. How soon and how likely do you think that AI and large language models will start inbreeding by training on data that is AI generated? Considering how much is on the internet, there's no way humans could vet every piece of training data. I mean, it's just incestuous nonsense and increases hallucinations, right? Is that?
Yeah. Fantastic question. This is the model. Sometimes it's called model drift. That model output becomes model input, and then they kind of drift off from
just
expectation.
Yeah.
It had another technical term. We'll come back. Yeah, and that's a great one, and I think that's a real danger. Not danger, but it's a real possibility. And I don't know how it is for you all. I mean, for me, especially social media, more often than not these days, I open, say, Reddit posts, and I go like, 90%. This is, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
do the delve.
well, and then now people say like, oh, it's these M dashes, but what it is really for me, it's they're different, also quotation marks, and then no spelling errors, lots of these M dashes, and then the quotation marks, oftentimes including punctuation, which you do in formal writing, but I mean, no one does that, and exactly, and no errors, everything fine and neat, and I'm going like this, and then all the paragraphs, everything lines up neatly, and so I suspect, and there are commercial reasons why anyone would do this on social media. That this is tomorrow's training input for the models, right?
Oh man,
and which again makes this procedure of human preference learning important.
Yeah.
Because it has a corrective moment that then humans say like, okay, no, this is weird, this is too much.
Yeah.
But then again, where's too much? I mean, now you see the output with the emojis. When I first read a paper about how this would happen, like, I don't know, a while ago, I was like, this is ridiculous. And then I first saw it popping up, and this paper has been really prophetic.
Yeah.
And apparently people like it, right? These smiley faces. So yeah, I think it's already happening. It's a great question. It's an issue in the field, and it's really to be seen whether the models drift off or whether there's a corrective moment.
But even at the human preference, like which one do you like more? Somebody's going to write an AI to do that for them.
Yes.
Right? Like
Excellent.
it's just its own incestuous feedback loop.
No, absolutely. This is already happening. It is learning on AI preferences. Absolutely. A lot of these steps are trying. So the data sets, I mean, oftentimes are AI generated, right? Absolutely. Because we were analyzing with Zina Ward from philosophy. I mentioned that an hour and a half ago. For those who have tuned in since, that we analyzed the data to see where this delta came from, and one of the challenges has been, now we were asked to make sure it's not in the instruction data sets, where we train the models to be like these chat assistants, that a lot of these data sets are AI generated.
Yeah.
Right? And that is not the data that has not been the initial data. So we didn't want to make that part of the core analysis. Yeah. Great question. It's a huge. It's an issue already, and it will become a bigger issue, I think, moving forward.
Yeah. Somebody's going to presumably find a way to troubleshoot that, but it's going to be bad for a while before somebody does, right?
I think I proved the point that yes, and I think I proved the point that I'm not great at multitasking. In all these games, we're not making progress, and I see we are almost on time for NARC.
I'm
right?
telling you, first place in Mario Kart.
Yeah,
I think that one you did the best because you had to while talking.
Yeah.
You do both.
Yeah. So next time, just more time on fewer games. Yeah.
I like it.
So
All right, we're at 10:33.
yeah, we can switch
it's probably time.
Switch to NARC with it, right?
NARC,
Yeah.
yes.
So,
Speaking of excellent soundtracks and visuals,
yes.
are we ready for this? There we go. We got the screen. We got the NES. Before you press start, anyone not familiar with the stream, we close every single stream with our guests by me forcing them to play a game that they played for the first time on stream. I don't think anyone has played this before, actually. And so, yeah, the game is NARC. There's the cartridge right there. It's reverse on the camera because I flipped it over for the microphone position. But yeah, NARC was a game that came out in the 80s. I think it's 1986 was when this was originally released. It was originally an arcade game and they got ported to the NES. They cleaned it up. They got rid of, instead of the red blood there, you can see it's yellow. Things like that. But yeah, it's on the NES, and I make every guest play it with a speedrun timer, which I'm going to pop up right now for you. Do you want to see the clock, or do you not want to see the clock? Do you want that pressure? Or
No, I think no clock is fine. Can I, before we start, can I have, how are you on the beer? Can I take one last beer for the...
let's do it.
I brought one more beer.
It's
How are
another
you on
one.
the beer?
Yeah, I'm good. Let's do it.
So this now is Belgian beer,
Nice.
Delirium. Well, the non-alcoholic version. I don't know where the camera is. If I may
Hear
show.
that
Yeah.
one. Yep.
The non-alcoholic version called Delirio.
Oh, look at that. The green is semi-transparent.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, Belgium has so many fantastic beers, and Delirium is. Well, Norman has Omen that. The alcoholic version, I think, has something like 8 or 9%.
That's pretty heavy.
really, really strong. So we can be grateful that we have a chance the non-alcoholic
Yeah,
version
exactly.
here.
Especially late in the night.
Yeah, I don't know how some of your guests do this. I mean,
Try to multitask.
late at night, several beers,
Oh, it's
and then knock.
That makes it fun. It's performance enhancing. Before you press start, I'm going to read you the plot here. So the tagline is, no one had the guts until now. You are Max Force. Your mission, bust Mr. Big and destroy his dreaded criminal empire. Seize all contraband, stolen money, illegal weapons, use rocket bombs, high-powered machine guns, apprehend all suspects, protect the innocent, punish the guilty, stop at nothing. That's it.
All right.
You're going to win the war on drugs.
Let's do it. Well, okay. No.
It's just,
That's
you're
not
just ready for this. It's
Right. Yes.
So the name of the game is... What? Well, there's my timer. There we go. Okay.
Okay.
I thought the timer wasn't working, but we're okay.
Okay. Here's the thing. I've seen Nathan do it, and what I remember is
Through the door.
it's basically walking to the right.
Walk right. There's no advantage in shooting other than they slow you down when bullets hit you. You have 2 buttons. The B button, if you tap it, is jump. If you hold it, is squat. Squat slows you down. And then A, if you hold A, is bullets. If you tap A, it's rockets. And yeah, that's the name of the game. You've seen the stream. You've done your homework. We're ready. If you guys want to distract Tommie while he's doing NARC, he's trying to speed run and beat his colleagues. You want bragging rights against Nathan. You want to know his time?
Sure.
You want to know it before or after you beat it?
No, it's all about the this jump at the end. That was my takeaway from the stream.
That is exactly right. It's the jump
Will I
rocket.
get the jump on it? I mean, this is just the.
You're exactly right. The car level takes a bunch of time too.
Oh, okay.
So Nathan, 17 minutes and 22 seconds.
That sounds
So he is the
good.
number 6
Yeah,
fastest
I just-
time on this. So you have your work cut out.
No, it's not. It's not a competition, huh?
No, it's not.
Um,
Sachin was at 25 minutes. Brian Quaife was at 27 minutes.
What is this? Everyone in the street is walking around with guns and rocket launchers.
Exactly. This is the 1980s in the U.S. You grew up in Europe, obviously. You don't understand.
So,
But you're right. I don't remember this from my childhood. Oh, no.
so this is the crack clap now. I'm in the.
It says crack on the arcade version,
Okay.
but it's quack on this game. So you're gonna shoot the guys wearing black with bullets that flip. There's the blue card. All right, that's a nice drop. That's some solid RNG. But yeah, if you guys want to distract Tommie while he's trying to beat this faster than Nathan Kroc, throw your questions in chat. Or
Sorry,
do it. Nathan's not watching. It's fine.
Dumpster Man.
Yep.
Okay. This is okay.
Joe.
The music is good, huh?
Yeah, it's a pretty solid.
Yeah.
I mean, of Nintendo games, I wasn't kidding. This is a pretty solid soundtrack.
So what music genre is this?
It's called chiptune. I don't know if you've ever heard that.
Yeah, of course, chiptune.
We had. Who was my guest? Who was the other music person I had?
Here's the car. So you said the car is
So
important.
stay on the bottom. It's going to be a wall.
Yeah, my
We'll go up.
okay.
Whoa, go down.
That is my
Going.
so better.
Oh, the bombs are just hard.
And this
to
is
hit.
Dumpster Man now? Is this Dumpster Man?
Yes, that is Dumpster Man. You made it farther in the car than anyone. So
Okay.
congratulations.
That was my takeaway. Rather go a little bit slower in the car, not die, than
Oh yeah,
Okay.
David Knapp. He's
okay. Well,
He was the one that I had on. He talked about chiptune. He's a music guy.
nice.
That's a particular style.
Isn't
of
that
music.
see? This is the guy who dropped me off. Right? First he drops me off, and now
His name's right.
yeah?
This game's so unrealistic.
Okay,
All right,
sure.
just-
We were friends a minute ago.
all right, other question we'd like to ask, and this is a good level to do it. I'll coach you through when I can.
Okay.
Unlimited budget, no moral qualms. What experiment? What exercise? Like you could isolate a country and have their language evolve. You could invade a country and see what happens there. Like unlimited, no moral qualms.
I mean, it is a haunting question because that dog just was well, whatever. Okay, sure. It has Mario Kart potential because it does take a lot of my
So stay on the bottom,
stay at the bottom.
then go up to the top.
Now
Yep. Go a
Top,
little higher
top.
right there. Yep.
here.
Yep. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. You're gonna have. There's gonna be bombs coming up here somewhere, and then you'll go down.
Okay, down and then
Yep. And then somewhere up, the bombs are kind of random up here, and then down a little bit.
Dumpster Man.
Oh, there we go. Down.
Down.
All the way down.
All the way down.
Keep going. That should take you basically to the end of the level.
Okay.
Wow. Well done.
Yeah, Dumpster Man was in the way, but we got away. No, I mean, one of the things that, and this is, one of the areas I like quite a bit is animal communication.
Ooh, that's fun.
Well, I mean, it has been done with birds.
Yeah.
The question, how much of language, and in this case, bird songs for songbirds, how much of it is innate?
Yeah.
And so,
I mean, they've done a lot with whales, but birds are understudied in that realm.
well, the thinking is to learn from it, and so here's the card.
So you're gonna go all the way
Go
to the right,
right.
that door. Go through that. There'll be a gray card.
Okay, they have lots of HP, huh?
Yeah, no, they're hard. So go up, but not too hard up. Oop,
Okay.
Left. There you go.
Okay. Oh,
Up, then blue card, then through the door.
okay,
Perfect.
great.
Nice.
How much is innate? And so what they did with birds is they let birds grow up without input. And yeah, and I'm one of them. Huh? I mean,
It's Rambo.
yeah. So to see how much then.
Going left. So you're going to shoot these guys at relatively close range with bullets.
Okay.
And one's going to drop a card. Oop. There it is. All right.
Oh, nice.
Green card. Nice RNG twice.
Yeah.
So what did they learn?
Random number generator.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You have a 1 in 5 chance at the green card, a 1 in 8 at
Oh,
blue.
I see,
So
I
you got
see.
lucky on both of them.
Okay. Oh, nice. I'm not complaining.
Yeah, what did they learn about the birds?
Yeah,
Related-
so my God, these guys though, And then what we do see is they do sing a basic song, right, despite no input. And with humans, and there have been unfortunate cases that have been studied with humans with
like
little
feral
input.
kids.
That has happened. And there, it could be learned from that. Of course, now you ask this question, no moral qualms. I'm not saying take very young children who have not had any language input and put them on an island with no further language input, and then see how their language system develops.
Yeah.
Because that would be incredibly unethical.
It would. If no moral qualms.
Well,
That's
yeah.
interesting.
So that was your.
Lord of the Flies language version.
I mean, I'm not sure how much we'd learn from it, but you said like, oh,
Well, what I'd be curious about is if you did that experiment 100 times, would there be a common thematic evolution, or would it be just happenstance?
so what is
You
happening?
have the-
Oh, I have the red card.
Yep.
I want to say what's here.
What would be your guess if you did that?
Interesting
experiment?
that it now stops though. Did you see the door open in the game? Like the enemy stopped?
Yeah. They
Is
freeze
that
when
a
you open the door.
sprite thing or what is this?
That's just so they stop shooting you, I guess.
Which nice.
But if you had to guess, I mean, if you took kids on an island, would the language evolution happen the same? Would it be circumstance, randomness of the kids, number of people, like?
I mean, the cognitive abilities are there. So if not in the first generation, the very few generations, I think a fully developed language is what we'd see. As social comment on this society, I don't think quack is the main problem.
Yeah.
I think this society has a gun problem.
Careful, this is America. But you're 100% right. Research supports it. Drugs are not a problem, at least not that bad of a problem.
And not their number one problem. The quack is not their number one problem.
Yeah.
These dogs are. Okay, anyway. Nah.
It's a great
What
game.
is this?
I told you, we saved the best for last. All right, so there's going to be a guy popping out in a wheelchair. You have to hit him with rockets. You're going to be tapping A.
Nah.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
That's
good.
one.
The rocket.
So he's going to show up. You're going to kill the guys on screen. 2 brown guys, shoot them. Shoot the guys that are on screen. Shoot the other brown guy. 3 blue guys. Oh, or bust him. Then he's going to show up again. Oh, nice.
Nice. That was the
very
dogs.
quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the fun part. If you blow up one of the guys and he runs into the cloud, it kills him.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to hit him directly.
Well, I thought it said apprehend, yeah?
It said stop and ooh, that's a quick Mr. Big. Get that card, go through the key door. Abadas, welcome back. Howdy, how's it going? Thank you for joining us. Our guest today is Dr. Tommie Juzek. He's an expert in computational linguistics. We spent a lot of time talking about generative AI, ChatGPT, large language models, how that information happens, hallucinations, all sorts of different topics. So it's been a fun night, but yeah, we're closing out the night with NARC. We're on to Mr. Big, go to the top of
Oh,
the screen.
that's
Jump
Mr. Big.
rocket in the hat. So it's on the way down. A little gentler on the tap.
No.
But yeah, we're probably, I don't know, 5 minutes away from being done. We might be done early. Nothing says equal rights in video game like fighting a guy in a wheelchair. Exactly. This is DEI video gaming right here.
It is the rocket thing, huh?
Yep. So tap it a little lighter. The rockets aren't coming out. You're pressing too hard, probably. A little earlier on the button.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, rockets to the face. All right, go down between these 2 black lines. You're looking for bullets. But yeah, if you guys have questions for Tommie, he's getting through NARC very, very fast right now, so you should slow him down by asking him questions. Hallucination,
this
story of
guy.
my life, AI for Python. Have you seen the paper that said it basically critiqued the use of the word hallucinations, and the title was
Oh, I haven't.
ChatGPT is bullshit? It called it a bullshit machine because hallucination implies some kind of frame of reference of reality, which chat does not have. It also is not a lie because it doesn't have intent, right? So instead, it's just making up. It's an answer generator, not a right answer generator. That was like the foundation of that.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen the paper, but I mean, this is what we've been discussing with colleagues quite a lot. Is this whole idea that you know, can these models do meaningful research? And the issue is that I'm not getting the thing though. Sometimes it puts out good ideas, but it puts out so much nonsense as well that it takes a human.
There you go. Through the door.
Okay, it takes a human to evaluate whether that makes any sense, right? And yeah. Okay, what was
Civil forfeiture the level?
Okay.
It's pretty good lately. It likes to remove functions that are needed.
Oh, and programming.
Yeah, for Python.
Oh, interesting.
Wow. 12 minutes and 41 seconds.
Oh, nice.
That was by far the fastest time.
You guiding me.
Your homework paid off.
Yeah,
You knew what you were getting into, but that was, holy crap, that was fast.
Geez, okay.
Congratulations.
Thank
That
you.
is the fastest time anyone's beaten it, so cheers.
Cheers.
Now you put it in
Does
your
that matter?
nipples. Wow, that was too fast.
Oh,
There's about
dang.
10 minutes left in the stream.
Oh, I can talk.
You can do this again. You want to do a second run?
I'm good. No, so
How about this?
what I did not. Oh, I have not played this.
You've never played the original Mario?
Let's
do it.
A friend had a good friend had a NES, and this is where. How do I? Okay.
There you go.
No.
Start again.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll kill 10 minutes. If you guys have suggestions on anyone we should raid, please put them in chat right now.
My goodness.
You have infinite lives. Also, if you hold the B button, it makes you run faster. Unlike NARC, which you walk one speed, one actually makes you run fast.
Oh yeah. So what I didn't get, now we have a little bit of time for the after talk, so to speak, didn't get to talk much about at all is, so I did talk, my goodness, this is overwhelming.
Do it.
I did talk about linguistics and roughly what that is, computational linguistics.
Yeah, that's true. We didn't have the foundational definitions.
I mean, it's so interesting with trying to trying to define a field is actually really tricky. So linguistics as well, when I said, oh, language, everyone goes like, yeah, language. But then what is language?
Yeah.
What is the language system?
Is it birds?
Right? Yeah. Is it birds? Right? Is it, how about gestures? And then the different sub areas. And so computational linguistics is what to do here in the flower. There's no time pressure here though, huh?
There's a little bit, but you're fine. It's this clock.
Oh, okay.
I'm not speed running you right now.
Okay.
So if you hit B, there you go.
How do I get through here though?
You can get over.
Oh.
There you go.
I mean, approaching language computationally, right? But what is that? Is that using the Google Ngram viewer to do a language analysis? I mean, is that computational linguistics? So, yeah, language done computationally. That can be quite tricky, huh? And so here we have the, but in general, that was me. That was pretty meek. That is the idea. Taking language and doing it computationally. There is the field is having this. There is a bit of a. I'm not sure I want to say divide. There is capital computational linguistics and there's capital linguistics, computational linguistics. So there is really computer science applied on language, and then there is linguistics using computational tools to gain language insights. And I would say I'm more. I cannot jump through the.
Yeah, platforms are solid.
How many lives do you said infinite? Okay.
Yeah, we have cheat codes. God, right now.
Yeah, I'm on the here. I'm on the on the linguistic side. That really I think it is appealing to use. Come on. To use the computational to gain language insights.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, this is with now with AI being such a booming field. I mean, it is a really interesting thing to look into what it does to human language, right? And the human language system. Oh.
So, I mean, speaking of AI, like broader. Oh, sorry. Go.
No. That was it. That's not my game.
So, speaking of the broader idea of just AI in general, like at least by this administration, is being overhyped as the answer to everything. Well, I say overhyped. Is it overhyped? And two, are we in a bubble where people believe it's more than it is?
I think you have to do this platform.
No, you got it
for me.
Take your time. You're not in a hurry. Like, are we going to see an AI bubble? Both financially, the investments in these companies are absolutely insane. They're overpriced by any normal metric.
Yeah.
But in terms of their implications, and Abados had a comment on this, I find AI is in two modes: genius mode with spectacular ideas, or absolutely drunk.
Yeah. No,
both exist simultaneously.
That's great. That's very close to how I feel about it. I mean, I have these moments where I see the output and I'm mind blown, and I still have this. I mean, and then at the same time, just the other day, it tried to tell me that the moon circles the sun 14 times a year. And I'm like, you can't do it, right?
Yeah.
So it's so just like what was the name said, yeah, absolutely. That's my impression too. It is incredibly valuable. No, I mean, the coding, I'm amazed at its coding abilities. Sometimes how it puts things together. As a non-native speaker, editing your texts. I guess what you're hearing is, what I'm saying is there's a lot of value in there. When it comes to the there's what do I do here? Jump over in to get the X? Okay. I mean, you as you said, the numbers are insane. I'm not sure I can follow that. Yeah, but I think it's a fantastic technology, mind blowing. Yeah, and looking at the history, so to speak, of it. I mean, if you think of it, it's the startup, San Francisco, OpenAI.
Yeah, the .com bubble and.
Well, what I mean though is like, when was it? Like mid 2010s. This company goes out there and then actually uses the model that we talked about earlier, the transformer, which came out of Google, where you would have thought if anyone sees the potential and realizes the potential, I think people actually have. They did see the potential, but then anyone look at it.
No worries.
Then realizing it, it's OpenAI that took the model from Google and ran with it. And I think that's quite a fantastic story to at that point so deeply believe in that technology and then put that product out. And to be fair, and so I talked about the many people in the field, where like, okay, what is this? When I saw GPT-2, I was like, okay, and it was not until the update I was like, okay, wow, and that was. When was it? 2019, 20, something like that?
Yeah.
I have to.
Did that
point being, kudos for sticking with that technology, believing in it so much that you push it over years and years and years to put that out. Which now I think many would agree is very, very useful in many domains. Do you use it much?
I do. I have it come up with titles and stuff like that, suggest removements of text, like things I don't want to do. Like, here's the key points. Come up with 6 versions of this title.
Interesting.
I've done it for some kind of like a search algorithm, right? Just to like find me this information and search for references. But yeah, I might be underutilizing it, but then I don't know.
I mean, there is so one of the biggest computational linguistics is a lot of the publishing and also the prestigious publishing is conference proceedings. I mean, yeah, there are journals and there are also very good journals. And one of the big venues is the ACL, Association of Computational Linguistics. And they ask, and they are okay with AI being used for editing and for coding, but you have to declare it. And I think, like you said, asking for titles, then finding a good title, asking for polishing text. I mean, then declaring it. I think you will still... It's almost I'm collecting the fish here.
It's a hard level.
I don't think everyone is happy with that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, declaring using it is interesting. I don't declare I've used Google, like, for, even a suggestion.
Yeah.
Or if Word suggests the end of a sentence, do I have to declare that was used in editing? Like,
you can jump on the fish.
Yep, as long as you are on the way down. As long as you're no longer holding A, it hurts stuff.
Okay. Exactly, with Google. And previously, again, as a non-native speaker, and someone brought up prepositions in the very beginning. I mean, English prepositions to non-native, speaking for myself, can be had to say this. It's not my game.
No worries.
NARC was walking to the right. He was walking to the right and jumping.
This is arguably harder than NARC, I agree. It's a better game than NARC. Don't tell NARC I said no. Googling prepositions. And then, all the old tricks in Googling, like where you put in a phrase and quotation marks and see how many hits you get to extract, like, is this the natural way to do it? Yeah. What words should I use?
And then I find the answer. And as you say, no one declared that they did that. Right? And now I'd say, like, can you point any language errors out to me? This is how I use it, because I think that's definitely in the green area. And you had, by the way, Michael Neal on the show, who does great work in incorporating AI in the classroom and thinking about things like plagiarism. So that was actually that was another one that I saw, Michael Neal on your show. I thought that was a nice one, and we had.
He comes the other lens. He's an English professor, right?
English professor, yeah. But also a bit like Paul Martin, whom you also had on the show, thinking about the impact of AI on education. And I think a definitely ethical, so to speak, or like fair, non-problematic way is, can you point out any language errors to me in the following passage? And that is what I do, and
it points it out. You don't have it edited.
Yeah, it points it out, and I then go back and address it, and so I think fixes the issue of any place where I worried that they might penalize AI use.
I wonder how soon before Microsoft Word incorporates that into its real-time editing. Like, it does spell check, right? It does grammar to some degree, but it's not responsive. It's not AI based, right? It's no worries. It's 11 o'clock. We can call it quits right there. You can check on how far we went.
I mean, the email program has that.
Yeah,
already.
Exactly. Right? It's in the complete the sentences. Like, I've written enough papers that Word could write a paper for me,
Oh,
right? In the
okay,
language,
okay.
right? With
Sure.
certain results and tables. But all right. Well, Tommie, thank you for joining me. It's been, time flies when you're having fun. We got through a bunch of games. You won the war on drugs faster than any guest I've had on stream before, 12 minutes and 42 seconds. Congratulations on that. We played a little bit of Mario, played Faster Than Light, played Frog Detective, played Dune 2. It was a good night.
Fantastic. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Well, thank
Appreciate
you for
it.
joining. Any parting words for the audience?
No, yeah, thank you to the audience as well. Many great questions. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it's fun. Thank you all for joining us. Coming back in 2 weeks, our next guest will be Dr. Hank Bass. He's in the biology department at FSU. He's a molecular biologist. He studies genetics, gene regulation, epigenomic cartography, which is a fun phrase. I'm excited that exists. But yeah, in particular, he studies maize, which is corn. I guess it's very good for studying genetics. So that's his like prototype material. So yeah, but it's been a blast. Thank you all for joining us. We'll be back in 2 weeks. But yeah, until then, Tommie, thank you again for joining me. You are my first linguistics. I guess your department is modern languages and linguistics. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. So thank you for being the first, and congratulations again on your win on NARC. All right.
The war on drugs, is that a win? Did we win it?
Yes, no, we did. According to Nintendo, we won the war on drugs. Ignore the trillions of dollars we spent on a lost war in real life. We're going to live in fantasy world for a while. But yeah, thank you all for joining us. It has been a pleasure. We will see you guys again in 2 weeks.